Hello and welcome to the Inglorious Bards. I am your ominous Game Master Tom. And this is adventure number 29. So glad to have you here, all of you, including Alan and Seth. I'll just say that right off the bat, so they feel like they're included and will have something to, some reason for being here. Glad to have everybody here. Glad to have you here watching or listening on the podcast platforms. We're here every Tuesday night, roughly 6:30 to 7 Pacific. We will be off next 2 weeks, and we're going to be reworking our studio with some new tables and different angles and some slightly upgraded equipment. Thanks to our supporters who helped us out with this. If you would like to help out the show, every little bit does help. You can take a look at patreon.com/ingloriousbards. Just a few bucks get you access to all of our after shows where we talk about everything that we think just happened in that episode of the night or what might be coming next, as well as some great one-shots. Our heroes are wandering the woods to the south of Tabernary. We have our wizard Zaldor. We have the gnome bard Jericho. We have our elven champion Aduin. We have Gegi, our he/she pixie archer. We have Stog, our barbarian supernatural swordsman. And then we have Hemlock, our fetchling gunslinger, and I personally have a feeling that this is going to be the best adventure yet. Without further ado, let's get a recap of what happened last time from Jeremy.
Last week was not the best adventure yet. We had an entire kind of time crunch crisis that was sent to us by Kreevorn. However, internally we had our own crisis in that Jericho and Hemlock are still feeling out of place, out of the world, or more like the world is wrong around them. All four of their friends, Yannick, Dash, Thawne, and Galen, are missing or have been replaced with these other faces. Aduin, Zaldor, Stog, and Gegi are part of the adventuring group and are still trying to follow this quest that was given to them by Kreevorn, but they are not their friends. They are not who they remember. So they want to find their friends and they want to stay in Tabernary to do so. The only way they know to do that is through the message that was given to Hemlock by the lady in the gray cloak of finding silver cords. It was touching the silver cord they think that caused them to be in this situation. Though Hemlock didn't touch it, it was only Jericho that did. But they know that if they find them, they want to destroy them. So we decide to stay one more day. Gegi laid down an ultimatum that stated that we would not last more than one more day, but we decided to go throughout Tabernary and see what we could find. We found nothing. There was nothing there. And the following morning, even that night, trying to get over his own depression and despondency, Jericho reaches out to Gegi to try to get to know us a little bit better and to learn our stories. But it's not enough. The next morning, Gegi shows up with horses, and Zaldor, and Aduin, and Stog, and Gegi all ride off to Fenmarrow Forest, but Hemlock and Jericho stay behind, with the intent of continuing to find silver cords, or hopefully, more importantly, their friends that they left behind. Before we head straight to the forest, though, Aduin had a quick stop-off to make and went to Hapley's House of Healing to speak to Hapley and to recruits. Recruits? We'll say recruits Hapley's son as a squire.
Rent?
For the very... Maybe
Lease.
Rent to own.
Rent to own the squire for the very first night of Carahel. So we also acquired the very first squire of Carahel, Hapley Jr., who, in all of his innocent wisdom, decided to come with us to Fenmarrow Woods. We weren't intentionally actually going through Fenmarrow. We were hoping to go around. There was a safer trip. However, Gegi spotted that there was an entire pyre of wyverns, which I just found out is the group term for a group of wyverns is a pyre. And they were dangerous and scary, and so we went into the woods to be a little bit safer in that journey. We were concerned about anyone following us, didn't seem to find any. However, the woods themselves are dark and mysterious and dangerous and covered in giant spiders, which we thought we were helping out a poor wagon party that was being attacked, but quickly got overwhelmed because there were only 4 of us by these gigantic spiders. Good news, before we're all dead, Luminera, the Omen Dragon, swept in and destroyed the spiders handily, very, very quickly, and kind of rescued us and brought us back. She was happy to see us, even granted us some Omen points for those who were there. However, she also noticed that we were different. The reality, according to her, had looked different. There had been a clouding of what things that she could see. And she ended up talking to Aeduin and then to Yannick, and talked to Dash and then to Zaldor, and on throughout the heroes, seeing the 2 different sides of what was there and recognizing that things were not the way they should have been. She did give a warning to everybody, anyone who would hear it, that our imminent destruction was on its way. We were about to be ruined unless we sought out a man with rugs and tapestries. So that's totally good and not ominous at all. And that's it. Jericho and Hemlock are still in Tabernary. We are barely alive, saved not but for Luminera the Luck Dragon, who has given us yet another quest to prevent imminent destruction and death. So with that charming note, let the adventure begin.
Deep in the dangerous woods of Fenmarrow, several wagons are gathered on top of a bridge with dead spiders and live heroes. There's a 3rd wagon some distance away on the path, and from inside of one of the wagons comes a Thavian trader, red-skinned man, slightly shorter than a typical human, with a thin mustache, burst out from one of the wagons. "Is everyone safe? Is everyone safe?" And he runs over to another wagon and starts checking on people, and a family comes out of there. 2 boys and a mother and a father come out. "Are you all right? Oh, did they? Oh, let's check." And he goes and runs over to the other wagon, and he's checking on people desperately as our 4 heroes are trying to figure out what the hell just happened with this Luminar dragon. "The horses! How are the horses?" And some of the horses are dead as he's checking on the horses.
Oh, yeah.
Zaldor is not super well, probably just a little bit still dripping of potential poison and bite wounds, but we'll go throughout the wagons to see if there's anyone that might need aid so that he can yell to Aeduin to come bring aid.
Okay. You come across this guy, and he comes up to you and reaches out and shakes your hand aggressively, Zaldor. "Thank you! Oh, thank you so much!
That's quite a grip.
You saved us! You saved us all!
You're welcome. It was the group efforts.
And whom do we owe our thanks?"
To the Guardians of Tabernary.
And he gives you a big hug. "Thank you, Guardians of Tabernary!"
Very strong.
And runs over to Geggy and gives you a hug.
I'm a pixie. Delicate.
He's just like dodging, like he just keeps reaching
Reflex
for it.
reflex save.
No.
It's partial, half hug is the end result. Yes. Runs over, Seth knows all about that. Runs over to Chris, aka Aeduin, and gives you a big hug. "Thank you for all your help.
Yes, all in a day's work. You're welcome.
We would have been finished without you."
Yes, you would have been.
He turns around and
Dog's got his arm
backs
big and
away.
wide.
He backs away.
Me
Following
down.
in with every hug. Just
Fetch.
I want hogs.
He gives you like little nucks, Howie Mandel nucks.
All right.
Is every one of your party okay? Has everyone survived?
Yes, it seems like everyone has survived just well, thanks to you.
Yes.
I'm in your debt. I am Lythic of Thave, and I'm so grateful. We were attacked by these spiders that came out of nowhere. And as soon as he says that, a woman from his wagon calls out, I warned you not to go through Fenmarrow, and yet you did. And a large, as big as Stog, Iveron, Viking-like woman with braided hair and furs comes out.
Does Stog's eyes just line up?
It starts
Sweeping
drooling
music
a little
kicks
bit.
in.
Then he remembers technically he's married.
I warned you not to go down to Fenmarrow, and you almost got us all killed. And Lythix says, well, this is my wife, Freygard of Fallen Pines. We are so grateful, aren't we, Freygard? And she comes over and eyes Aeduin with a raised eyebrow, seems to reluctantly approve, looks at Zaldor and shakes her head.
Flourish.
You don't have to say flourish, you just flourish.
How will she know if I'm flourishing if I don't announce the flourish?
She then walks over and looks down and down and down at Gegi and pokes you and says,
Oh, sweet Jesus, don't.
this one is far too weak.
Are we fighting? I surrender.
And then she looks over at Stog and eyes you
Who is
slowly.
subtly flexing, like, but trying not to look like he's flexing.
Just like half suck in.
That William Shatner, TJ Hooker,
yeah.
girdle look.
There we go.
Tighten me up.
She says, you don't look like you're from Navarre.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
She raises another eyebrow. Lythix says, how did you come across us?
We were traveling down the path, and there was a wagon with some injured.
My cousins.
Yes, and our squire is back tending to them.
Oh, speaking of, I should probably go check on the boy.
I think that's a good idea. Thank you, Stock. And
Freygard watches you go.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is strutting a little bit, but also like really hurt. So like trying not to look hurt.
Under her breath, she's like, not so weak. Not
And
yet.
we heard the cries for help, and as we are the guardians of Tabernary, not the gardeners of Tabernary, we came to lend aid. None too soon, I would say.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. We are just the three of us. If my cousin's horses are safe and well, and with the one horse here, I think we could continue on with all three wagons, albeit slowly. Perhaps, if you are heading south to Thave, you could guide us and give us some protection from these spidery woods.
We
Aeduin,
are heading...
Aeduin, a moment.
Yes,
If I could speak with you just
of
briefly.
course, Gegi.
I think we should travel with them. These spiders are certain to come back. I know their kind. They don't just travel in these numbers. We got very lucky. There should be a lot more.
They will slow us greatly, and we are working at some haste.
We'll need the numbers. And we could do with some rest ourselves, with some injured.
How much further before we're out of the forest?
2, 3 days. 1, 2 days. Maybe. My stage direction got confused.
We will... Perhaps it is a good idea to travel with them until we exit the forest.
We'd see them through, but there is another matter I'm concerned about. The 4 of us are not enough. And I have an idea I want to follow through with.
Yes?
There are some rangers about, and I want to make one final effort to see if the others will join us. They would reach them in time. I'm not sure where they're exploring, but I imagine it's still Tabernary. I can get a message out. if we're here and we're delayed a little bit, and Gegi's making the movements for camping with the people there, that may buy them time if they are to come. But this has become entirely too perilous, and I am concerned. But I wanted to talk with you, the others first.
You are our guide through these woods. I will defer to your thoughts on this.
Done! And snatches away paper and whatnot and disappears off to a log somewhere and begins crafting a letter.
Did you just steal their paper?
Yes.
Crank! I need this! Crank!
All right.
It's a printing press.
Gegi is on a log writing on some paper. Lythic returns to Stog, you left, so it'd be Adoin and Zaldor. He has in his hands two stone carvings in his hands.
Small payment, but we'll accept those as our just due.
He says, yes, of course. These are handmade by Frey's people of the Wicker Clan to the north. We bring them down to Thave to trade. This is a dragon that will give you insight to your dreams and help you understand what may come or what has already been, or so they say. This one will keep you quite hard if you catch my meaning, and it's a dragon with a really engorged penis. Keep it over the mantle of your door to your bedroom. I've got a wagon full of them.
That is an interesting product you have there.
They're quite craved in Thave. A Thave crave.
I see.
We
Well,
call it thieving.
we will travel with you until the end of the forest, and then we must
It's even
be on our way.
articulated.
Now I am just uncomfortable. Boy!
His dog appears carrying him under an arm.
So, we are headed to Sarvid for our first trade endeavor. You could guide us there and keep us company. In return, we could provide you with some well-cooked meals, and perhaps after some initial sales are made, we could provide a few coins in thanking you for your guardianship.
We will see what happens at the end of the forest. We must discuss it amongst
please.
ourselves.
Sarvid is just on the other side of the woods. He lies.
Sarvid is a bit south of the woods, if I remember my geography correctly.
And where are you headed, you guardians?
Zaldor, where are we headed again?
Yes, well, it's a rather ominous question in so many different ways.
A little less flourishing.
Where we're all going is going to be south to Thave. Where we may end up, who knows? But on our way, we will probably be stopping by Kassir and more
Kassir.
likely than not Kreevorn.
Kreevorn. That's where we were headed.
One place we're definitely not going, in case anyone asks, is Sarvid. Because no one goes to Sarvid.
No one
especially
goes
this time
to
of year.
Kreevorn. They've got some trading caves there, but nothing like Sarvid. You should come to Sarvid.
Sarvid is not lovely this time of year. Kreevorn, however, has all sorts of spice menus. Did you get that? Zaldor had a little bit of a stroke.
Zaldor starts Mitch McConnelling into the camera for a bit and be quiet. One of his handlers has to take him off and cut the interview.
He's casting Bertation.
It's the spice one. It's a spice place, Kreevorn.
I can't feel my hands.
Does anybody else smell toast?
Well, then I have until the edge of Fenmarrow to convince you otherwise.
Indeed.
Here.
To the edge.
And he forces a dragon into each of your clutches.
I will take them
Wasn't
both.
mouths, so I'm happy.
I've seen one of these before. This reminds me of the time that I encountered.
And I'll save it, Jeremy.
I posed for this one.
He goes back and starts arranging his people, making sure everyone's safe, trying to get the horses retied up. And Stog, you were getting Happily.
Yeah, Stog returns with Happily, and I believe there was another woman that was left behind.
There's a couple of people there.
A couple of people there, so he'll escort them all back.
All right.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to carry them. Like, I'm carrying the boy, carrying the other people.
Yeah.
Aduin
Carry the
tosses
wagons.
Stog a statue, not the insight one.
Okay.
They wanted you to have that.
Oh,
It's a gift.
oh, that's my kind of them.
It's a well-endowed statue.
What shall I
dragon
do with
statue.
it?
Keep it above your mantle, from what I'm told.
Oh, I've got a mantle now.
Yeah,
Hang your bananas off it.
I'm moving up in the world.
the old twig and berries, I guess.
It's a belt buckle. Stog fashions it into a belt buckle.
And now I have 2.
Belt buckles.
They attach the horses and get everything prepared, and they get some help from Aduin, as well as limited help from Happily the Squire in healing some of their wounded, as well as some of your wounded. And the 3 wagons make their way slowly with just 1 horse each, heading south on this trail through the dangerous Fenmarrow woods.
Yeah, so while we were traveling, Aduin, if it's feasible, will either trade spots with somebody and give up his horse so he can sit on the wagon and rest, so he can do lay on hands intermittently as we travel.
Okay.
If he's able to still rest on a horse, great. If not, he's going to hang out in a wagon and then heal appropriately as we travel on.
All right, and Geggy is late to catch up, having written this message. So you write this message on this paper, and what do you do with this message?
The only way it can travel is by Ranger Express. So,
Can you describe what that is?
it's the magical scroll case that Geggy carries, through which I think the timing is once a week. A message can be sent to any ranger instantaneously, and so it's just a leather bound, unimpressive looking scroll case, but that's what he's using.
All right, yeah. So it's part of the wardens, these rangers that help protect the Kingdom of Navarre's wildlands. The leadership can send messages, I think at least once per day, but rangers can in return send once a week. And Geggy is writing this message to whom is it addressed?
It's may concern.
It's addressed to
Homeowner.
It's addressed to Arel. That's the ranger it needs to go to.
Okay, all right.
And then Arel receives instructions to hand it to Jericho and Hemlock.
And Hemlock. All right, you put that message into the scroll case, seal it up, and you then get on your horse. It doesn't make the suction noise. It's freaking Futurama tubes everywhere.
You've got mail.
And you get on your horse, you catch up, and about 30, 40 minutes later, you look inside and the message is gone. So you know it has been sent. And you guys ride off. You ride for several hours, continuing on through the dark woods that seems to grow closer and closer around you. But the traders, which are an odd mix of Thavians and Iveron folks. They've got a strange extended family going on here. They seem much more happy that you guys are around. Obviously, they have protection. And in particular, the matriarch of the group, Freygard of Fallen Pines, calls out and says, "You there! I would see you closer," and motions for Stog to ride closer.
Oh, Stog looks around to get some guidance from his... No. Oh, no. Nobody's
You there.
making eye contact. Okay.
I am moist and demand attention.
Death by snoo.
Stog rides up with his dragon penis belt buckle. Yeah.
Hemlock, those guys just seem like they were getting stranger and stranger all the time before they left. I'm glad they're gone. They were giving me the creeps.
Oh, yeah. What you need?
You seem strong.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see your arm. And she holds out her hand to touch your arm.
Oh, all right. Holds his arm out.
She squeezes and touches like she's trying to buy some horse.
Oh, I'm not a piece of meat. Well, I'm a piece of meat, technically.
I require your company this evening.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Lythic and I will be enjoying the moonlight, and you will join us. You seem strong enough and virile to handle what we do.
What we do?
Better off not to ask.
What we do in the moonlight.
And by what you are offering, she says, touching the articulated bit, it seems you are also available.
I'm not quite sure what's happening here.
Frey, we don't have to do this now, says Lythic as he comes up to the wagon. Quiet you.
I should mention.
Join our Patreon for explicit content.
The Bards only fans.
Bards only fans, yes.
Stog Unleashed. I'm actually married.
As are we. That has nothing to do with what need to be done.
Oh, that's a fair point. I think.
After dinner, then, once the camp has been set up, in this very wagon, we will see you then.
Oh.
And she disappears back into the wagon covered area.
Anyone, I need some help.
So do they, apparently.
How is it that I can help you, Stog?
Oh, I don't. I think I was just invited to lay with Freya. Freygardt. I don't know if I can say no. She might beat me up.
Well, I wouldn't bet against her.
Are we placing bets? I wouldn't bet against her either.
You are wearing the dragon penis.
I don't.
Why did you put that on anyway?
I don't know.
Everyone knows you do.
I mean, why else would you put it on?
I'm beginning to think you played a trick on me.
I thought you knew what it meant.
Well, I'm going to have to think on this one.
When in the Thave.
I mean,
Stog kind of moves towards the back of the train and is deeply lost in
use that
thought.
word.
Yeah. But of all the places, the back of it's
probably, depending what your flavor is, that's a good place to be.
All right. You guys continue to travel throughout the day in the forest and camp. Everyone is excited to finally rest, get a campfire going, except Stog,
everywhere. Okay.
who seems a little apprehensive, eager to go get more firewood and be away from the camp. And there are some tales that are spun. Lythic tells of their travels back and forth from Thave to Iveron, doing their delivery of their goods back and forth. This was their first time cutting through the Fenmarrow Forest to save some time, and it did not go as planned. He's worried about the cost of horses and all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, sweating bullets is Stog off in the distance, and the dinner is concluded and people part ways. The Guardians set up a watch, and happily comes up to you. Sir Aeduin, well, how about some the practice with the blade?
Indeed, that sounds like a good plan.
Swing!
And
He's wearing the dragon buckle.
yeah.
She's ugly.
Nope.
And that is part of our nightly routine whenever possible to get in some practice. He is still on the dagger. And, although Adwin is fashioning a wooden short sword in the meantime to eventually graduate him up to battling with the short sword.
All right. You guys work on that blade using your weapons as best you can. Speaking of which, Stog, what are you doing now that dinner has concluded?
Avoiding eye contact.
I know, but tell me more.
I think Stog is making a big show of checking the gear on the horses and making sure everything is secured and battened down for the night, and looking at the wheels on the wagon and inspecting them very thoughtfully. Yes, yeah, I need to make sure this is secured right here. Yes, yes.
Yes, Freya, he's eager this evening. He's trying to work up a sweat.
So you're avoiding them, Stog?
Yes, Stog
Okay.
is definitely avoiding.
All right. Then after some time, you feel a tug on your tunic.
On your belt buckle.
And there is one of the young cousins of Lythic, maybe 9 years old, and says, Lythic and Freygard are waiting for you in the wagon. They sent for me to come get you.
That's inappropriate.
Epstein's wagon.
Where's
Jesus.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah, no.
Nope.
I feel bad. Yeah.
all right?
In fact, I'll leave the Bards now.
Clearly P. Diddy's wagon.
Thank you.
Nope.
Pat him on the head and send him on his way. And
Okay.
Stog will make his way over to the wagon.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that was quick.
What does that mean, son?
I got nothing else to do, so
Now,
I'm excited for some awkward moments.
Stog, you head over to the...
I remember a bunch of boglings running around.
Still running around.
You head over to the wagon, and the
Roll initiative.
flap is opened, and there you see Lythic wearing a thin evening tunic type thing, and he looks a little nervous, and he says, "Oh, you're here. Come in.
listen.
We've been expecting you.
I'm sure you have.
I've got a bowl of water to freshen up
With all
and some mint leaves
due respect,
and some sheepskin."
well, now that looks quite comfortable. No.
You see there's a wagon. It's filled with tons of rich, thick furs
That
everywhere.
smells quite good in here. Oh, no. What?
Freygard comes up. She
Oh,
is
God.
wearing not too much,
Oh,
and she is wearing furs in all the right places.
oh.
And she is tall and strong, easily dominating over Lythic, and she kind of nudges him out of the way.
I feel like Stog's hands are on the back of the wagon and they're just splintering the wood right now.
Aoden's just behind you. What you doing?
Come on, man. Hurry up.
I'm next.
There's a line.
Jesus.
200 miles away. Jericho's just slowly strumming on the ukulele. I don't know why I'm playing this song.
Freygard reaches out and grabs you by your upper arm and gently, not so gently, pulls you towards the interior of the wagon.
No.
She says, "Inside,
No.
no names needed.
No.
Just seed."
Well, just see. All due respect and a considerable amount of restraint. I must decline.
You gotta earn us the explicit rating.
I
Yeah, really. We need this for audience members.
You owe it to us.
Think of the Bards! Do it for the Guardian
Stick
stuff!
one on the chin.
You want me to have sex while thinking about you?
The greater good.
Oh!
Nope.
I mean,
I am married and I could not forgive myself if I did this and I didn't. I didn't talk with my wife. We spoke vows. We're sure we're going through some things right now.
Would it help if I left? And he steps out of the wagon and
No,
starts pushing you.
I put him right back in. Right? No, that's all you. Thank you. Appreciate. Have fun and good night. And Stog will walk away as quickly as possible.
All right, you walk away.
Geggy is there as he's leaving and goes, all you had to do is take off the belt. And Geggy walks away.
Do you want it?
Geggy's gone.
Geggy puts the belt on and flies on over.
Tripped.
I'll show you, Pixie.
Stog, thinking that this might benefit someone of an older persuasion, seeks out Zaldor.
If the dragon statue affects you for more than 4 hours. All right.
Insult a cleric.
Stog sleeps alone and is on guard the entire night for many reasons. And there is no interesting encounters in every way that night. And you wake up and continue to travel through the forest.
I feel so unsatisfied. Some weird moments in this morning.
I'm a little
Shut up!
I'm a little concerned here in the studio as we have Frank, aka Clay God, as one of our audience members here. We super appreciate having Frank here, but he is drawing, and I'm worried what it is. He's using some big lines, I see. You guys travel for about half of this other day and are clear of the forest. The trees get more and more sparse, and the fields of Navarre are replaced by dry, hard-packed dirt of Thave, which is countered by cold weather as we are slipping deep into fall and with winter approaching. So it's a strange, dryish, southwestern U.S. vibe, but with cold coming on. And Lythic is there talking to Geggy and Zaldor. So, we were speaking earlier with some of your other members, and there was talk of you accompanying us to Sarvid.
There was? Who talked of this?
So what say you? He says to Zaldor and Geggy.
As I mentioned once before, Sarvid is not really the right place for this time of year. Really, our quest takes us to Kreevorn.
Yes, no, we don't have time for Savid.
I fear that this may be the time that our paths cross, or uncross.
He says, well, if there's nothing I can do to convince you, then thank you again for your help. And if you find us once more here in Thave or on the road to Iveron, we would always love your company, particularly the Stogs. You hear no names from inside the wagon.
Inside! Why again?
Bring me the pixie. I hunger.
She's the Sinistar, dude. Okay.
I need a pixie stick.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Dang it.
Welcome, Jericho. Welcome. Well done.
And they bid farewell, and the three wagons slowly roll off to the south into Thave, while your group heads southwest into this kingdom. Thave is a kingdom known for its deserts and dry woods and forests. It is home to Thaves, who are humans, but with a slight variation. They deal a lot with with deals and trading, but not goofy like Ferengi from Star Trek, because there's also a lot of backstabbing and killing and assassinations. But there's still a bit of a code of honor behind
Like the
some
Ferengi?
of that. No, they're Ferengi are more comical than these guys. These guys can be violent for sure. They are ruled over by different little mini covens called blood witches. Then it's a bit of a chaotic trading nation more than anything. Trusting a thave is an insult to someone. Well, it looks like you trusted a thave is what they'll say in other parts of Varen, meaning you've been lied to. So keeping
Sounds racist.
Yes, it is. So you guys are making your way southwest to what was the town name you're heading to?
Kreevorn.
Kreevorn. Heading there.
Do we have an idea of how long it will take from our current position to get to Kreevorn?
Probably 3 days.
Cool.
Assuming we don't fall into any Ahsoki warrens, we should be fine.
Geggy, what do we do if we encounter a blood witch?
A good witch?
A blood witch.
A blood witch. She'll make herself known, probably calling out her name, and then casting all manner of curses.
Oh. So we run.
Know a blood witch by her red-stained lips. It's Dune reference.
Stog, to your points, one thing we should avoid is blood sands. You will see, potentially, columns of swirling sand. They're red, much like what the blood witches control, and they are, for lack of a better word, her spies. And so if there is a blood witch nearby, she will often have sentries of blood sands about, and if we can avoid them, that would be best for all.
The Ahsoki prefer to hide underground, and that's how they survive often. I would suggest, should we come across any of that, we do the same.
Agreed. If at all possible, to make sure we certainly don't. If we can not get into a fight in this entire process with the Blood Witch, which I certainly hope is avoidable, we shouldn't. They are dangerous. They are deadly.
But they can't go underground.
They can, but their sands don't look underground. Typically, the Ahsoki that live there are part of their servants, and so they don't always track all of them.
Oh, I think that's clear.
Meanwhile, in the town of Tabernary, Hemlock
Nothing happens.
sits upon a cart outside of the new wall, watching the road that goes from west to east across Navarre just outside the city, and sees an unusual sight, perhaps one that Hemlock has never seen before. And it is the march of hundreds and hundreds of soldiers in light armor, with some horsemen riding around the outsides, keeping things organized, marching from west to east with the banners of Navarre and the banners of the Silver Council, who rule over Navarre. And you see them and you hear, these marching orders, and they keep making their way through, proud soldiers with plumed helmets, flags being held. And they march across this street, wagons and across this road, and wagons and traders are normally following it or just getting out of the way. So an unusual sight for sure. Some of the people that are now outside New Wall, some of the races that are still not quite found their footing within Tabernary, are staying well clear and making their way into the city, not to be caught up in whatever is going on here with this marching army.
And they're marching into the city?
Nope.
Or they're just marching past?
Marching past the city, heading east to the eastern side of Navarre.
You said the Silver... I'm sorry, what was the name again?
Silver Council.
Silver Council, thank you.
Yeah. As that happens, there is a rider who comes out of the gate, new gate, just to your right. It's an open gate. A rider comes out, and it is a person wearing the garb of a warden, a ranger who protects some of the wilds of Navarre. He looks around and sees you and smiles and hops off his horse. He looks like he's dusty from a lot of travel, and slowly makes his way over, ties up his horse to the cart that you're sitting on. Maybe you're on some sort of hay, just watching the proceedings lazily. And he says, "Hello there.
Hello?"
You
And
would
I hop off the wagon to, meet him face to face.
I'm looking for a fetchling by the name of Hemlock."
You found him.
This is good.
You're a warden,
I am.
presume. I've known a few of your fellows.
I am known to Geggy, and Geggy has sent word to me to reach out to you. And I've raced here with all due haste to give you a message, and then be done and head elsewhere.
Snap.
Okay. That's curious.
He reaches into a strange-looking scroll case and takes out a piece of parchment. Oh, I put it in the in slot. Damn it!
Give me a week.
Give me a week. He says, "Here you are. And this was for you and someone named Jericho. So, the best of luck. It sounds like there's some tough times going on. And what in the hell is going on here?" As he points to this army marching.
I have no idea. Just started happening. This army marching. I've received no word of. I do not know what's happening.
There are few greater enemies than a general in an army to the wardens. They tend to drag us into things. Well, I hope you won't take this as any kind of unusual sign, but I'm going to head away to the west and avoid this force, as well as the city.
I don't blame you.
Well, good day. He hops on his horse and rides away.
Is it like a sealed parchment, or is it just a piece of paper?
It's just a piece of paper. Not
It's like
sealed.
a taffy wrapper, really. Just spin it open.
Without reading it, Hemlock's gonna find Jericho so they can read it together.
Okay. You find Jericho wandering about the city, casting some detect magic, perhaps? You just hear it down different alleyways.
People mocking you, making the same noise.
Friend,
Hey,
how are you?
same.
It's been a curious morning. There's an army marching past the city, headed east. They look to be headed from near Scone. They have some silver council banners.
I'm sorry, I'm not well traveled like you. What's east of here?
There's Caliviere. Cannonbrand is a large
That's
city.
that's where all
seen
the weird
sometimes.
the weird stuff happened
Years ago, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, all
I
right.
don't know where they're headed. I didn't stop to ask them.
All right.
While that was going on, a warden found me. Knew my name.
Was it thought?
Was not. It was not Geggy either.
Well,
But it is.
I'll take the good news with
he
the
has
bad.
a message from Geggy for both of us. This warden knew both of our names. Just found me first. I have not read it. Figured we should read
Should
it
we?
together. Should we read it? Should we just toss it? I think we should read it.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe.
Maybe they
I don't
found
know.
our friends.
Maybe. So, Hemlock will open it up. We'll find a bench or something and open it up, and we'll read the letter.
All right, you read the letter, and this is what it reads.
Years ago, you served my father during the Clone Wars.
Touche. Here's one of my hero points.
Hemlock Jericho, I hope this message finds you well. The ranger bearing this note is a friend and ally of Ren. Please treat him as such. Our journey to Thave took an uncertain and dangerous turn in our efforts to avoid a pyre of Wyvern while traveling south. No time for dragonkin, we ventured into Fenmarrow Forest. Unfortunately, trouble followed us, and we were nearly devoured by the deadly denizens of the forest, if not for fateful intervention. Luminara, the Omen Dragon,
Oh my.
freed and apparently back in her home, sought us out. She had been expecting us and spoke with glad tidings of our arrival. However, she was concerned that you were not with us, and she made clear that what we faced ahead would be nothing less than disastrous if we attempted to continue alone. She shared her visions of the future, and even of other guardians. Much was unclear. She spoke to Aedwin and Zaldor, and of others in hushed, uncertain tones. Luminara stated that our names on her lips were strange, and the tapestry of our future is unraveling, as though the world is coming undone at our feet. However, in no uncertain terms, she made it clear that if we were to fail at the extremely arduous task before us, that we and everyone we know will perish. Luminara saved us from this peril once already, and I fear that it will only get harder from here, especially without you. There is a growing shadow over everything we do. These lands are vast, and many of the unnamed wander through them. There are more secrets here than can be counted, and we have very few eyes with which to see them. Yet we will walk forward blindly. Hemlock and Jericho, I implore you, please come. I am certain that without you, we are lost. Giggy.
P.S. Bring beer.
We should have thought about seeking out Luminara to begin.
She knew stuff. And we knew she was in that forest. I feel stupid. She wouldn't know all this stuff, if anyone would. I gave money to that stupid know-nothing lady in the tent.
Well, you stole most of it back.
Probably steal. She didn't give me what I asked for.
Well, we have been in this city,
I haven't found anything.
not finding anything. I have all but given up finding any silver cords in Tavernry.
Why haven't there been any more?
Cannot answer that any more than I can answer why they were here in the first place. What are your thoughts? You seem
Well,
A
one,
little
it's
down.
Geggy. Geggy was the... Geggy didn't listen to anything we had to say.
yes, but
If I got that from Zaldor, I might have listened.
I mean, there's no doubt that
That's the Oma Dragon.
these four have connections to our friends.
What that part about Luminara, other names or something?
This is a strange message, but I am apt to go after them. I mean, we're not getting anywhere here.
Hemlock, I'm
I haven't shot
adrift.
a gun in over a week.
I'm adrift in a world I don't understand. You're my captain in all this.
Sure, Captain. We are equals here.
You know more of this
I
world
don't
than
want
I
to
do.
leave without you.
Where you go, I'll
And I
follow.
want to stay here.
You want to go?
Yeah. We should have. I mean, it's hopeless staying here. If we ever hope to find Galen or Dash or Yannick or Thon again, they have some connection with those other four. And this is what I needed to spur me onward out of Tavern.
All right.
Eggy left me some instructions on the route. I feel like we should leave immediately. There's nothing for us here. If there's armies marching, who knows what's going to happen?
I don't care
Certainly
about
not going to fight for any army of your scone.
No.
And there are troubles in this world.
Okay, I'm not going for that pixie.
Don't go for yourself. Go for me.
No, I'm going for you. And for the dragon. I believe in her.
I do as well.
Let's go get a horse.
Get a couple.
Okay.
We're gonna have
I'm
to.
small.
They have a good head start on us. We'll be able to travel faster, just the two of us.
Let's spend more and get a good
And
one.
knowing them, they're gonna, you know,
They're probably dead in
plodding
the
along
ditch anyway. They
anyways.
weren't that smart.
it's true.
And who was going to heal them?
Well, they took some boy with them. I heard that around town. We saw that little boy with them.
What's he going to do?
I don't know. Not heal anything like you can.
That just feels creepy to me. Well. All right.
You haven't seen the little boy corral.
Yeah. We'll gather up some supplies and get the hell out.
Hemlock and Jericho grab some supplies, grab some horses provided by Mayor Plen, and they leave the city of Tavernry, and we will take our break there. We'll be right back to see what happens next. All right, we are back from break. Thanks very much for joining us. If you want to check out the campaign information, the wiki that we have details about places like where they've been, the cities, the towns, the cultures, the gods, feel free to drop by ingloriousbards.com and click the link to the campaign database, as well as our Discord. We absolutely love when people drop by and drop some notes under each episode telling us what your thoughts are. That stuff is like gold to us. So drop by Discord at ingloriousbards.com. Back in the Kingdom of Thave, our four heroes continue to ride. The wind howls as it sweeps across the endless dunes, and you feel sand sting your skin. Every step you take crunches underfoot as the sand shifts beneath your boots. The cold air feels dry and heavy. Occasionally you see a small whirlwind dance across the dunes, spinning sand into the air before vanishing quickly. You keep your cloaks tight about you as you ride your horses southwest, crossing the river known as the Red, a literally red-tinged river that gains its name from the sediment that comes down from the faraway Blood Hills to the east as it makes its way west to the ocean. You cross that river, and not too long after that cross a trade route that makes its way towards Sarvid and into the main section of Thave, which you are staying well clear of. You continue to ride and camp again. In that evening, Geggy on watch, something unusual happens. While you are up at night, keeping an eye out, keeping an ear out, you can hear the wind blowing from time to time. Maybe the occasional crunch of sand as Stog gets up in the middle of the night to relieve himself and then returning.
Oh! Oh!
Quiet, quiet. Too loud for the desert.
Oh!
That's better.
Dreaming of Freygard, you hear...
Oh!
Oh.
You don't hear, you clutch your cloak even tighter as it's getting very cold at night with no cloud cover here in the desert, and you see something not far away at all. Maybe 250 yards away, you see the flicker of a campfire against some rocks, and see that a camp has been set up along some big boulders here in the desert area.
Keen on the site, but also what surrounds the camp, breaking out the spyglass and peering into the darkness.
All right. What kind of vision do you have?
Both dim and night.
Dark vision?
Dark vision.
All right.
No, it's
night vision. It's the green.
Let's see. Dark vision can see perfectly well.
But only when you make the noise.
In areas of darkness and dim light, some forms that a creature with dark vision, however, can see. Doesn't have a range restriction like I believe D&D does. So great. You can see through your spyglass. You see no horses. You see just a few packs of gear that are not quite pulled out of sight amongst these boulders. And you may make... No, so you see with your spyglass. You see the heraldry on one of these packs of Navarre.
Okay.
And some official capacity.
But see no one.
Correct.
Around. Stog is up stomping around?
He just got comfortable.
Stog, wake up. There's another camp nearby. From Navarre. They're flying banners of Navarre.
Whoa, is that bad?
It's curious. They shouldn't be out this way. No one should be out this way but us. We're traders. But not Navarre.
Should we wake the others?
I don't know. It's curious, though. There's no one there.
You want me to go check it out?
I want to go check it out.
You want me to watch or go with?
I want you to stay here and watch.
All right. Can I look through your spyglass?
I'm coming back, sure. And Giggy hands Stog the spyglass.
Who immediately trains it on Geggy. Like, is just watching him the whole way. Turns it the right way.
Oh, that's much better.
You're even smaller now.
Wait, you said I'm coming back, so go ahead and hold
Yes.
the spy, which means when the day comes when you say, I'm taking the spyglass with me, it means you're not ever coming
That's
back.
right.
All right. Skeggy, what are you up to?
Going to stealth and go over to that campsite.
Somehow, do I? I should. I don't have stealth. I keep asking you guys that. What is your stealth?
Just roll a number and say yes.
50.
Stealth is 14.
14. You
good stealth.
very quietly, it seems to you, as
And
you get. Yeah. Ooh, wow.
Trackless journey plays in natural terrain. My tracks are undetectable.
Okay. You make your way towards this fire. You can hear some voices ahead, and you hear people talking about food and rest are some words that echo across the sand dunes. As you head towards these boulders, trying to get an angle, you can see there is this fire going with 4 men, humans, gathered around the fire, some resting, one attending some cook pot over it. They look to be soldiers, official soldiers of Navarre.
Does it appear that they're escorting or perhaps guarding an item or something in transit that they're protecting.
Make a perception roll. 19.
That is an 18.
Okay, you see nothing. that
Kegi
they're
must
guarding.
know. Spending hero point.
Oh,
What'd you roll
An
on the
18
dice.
total.
on the dice?
6.
A 6. Okay.
oh, okay.
An 18. I must know. That is a 20. That is a 29.
Oh,
That's much better.
that's a critical success. Also, we have a hero point to give out that we will give to Derek to give out correctly. Derek, who's going to get that hero point? Stog gets the hero point. All
I
right.
should have kept my.
Celibacy.
I earned this!
Celibacy point. All right, great. You see that there are two of these men that are resting are not just resting, they are badly wounded. One of which looks critically wounded. They look to be, with your critical success, very low on supplies and in a bad state.
Okay.
And they appear to be official soldiers of Navarre.
Okay.
You would even say they are cavalry of Navarre with no horses.
Where is the guard standing watch?
There is no guard standing watch.
There's okay. Okay. Giggy throws something into the fire, a nearby stone, just something that kicks up that plume of
All right.
ash
There's a
and whatnot.
spark of flame, and the guy who's trying to get a cook pot to hang over it dodges back and covers his eyes. Ah!
Why is it I'm able to sneak up on guards of Navarre?
The guy turns around slowly and draws his blade and peers into the darkness. Who's that?
You're in no position to be fighting with the wounds I see.
Identify yourself.
I offer some assistance. There's nothing said, but then the warden badge goes skittering across the nearby the campfire on some of the stones.
All right. The second guy goes to draw his long sword, but the badge skitters right in front of him as he gets up off the ground and he picks it up and looks at it. He says, "It's a warden."
What are you doing this far south?
And the first guy who was cooking says, "Come into the light."
Carol Ann.
We won't be speaking to any badge, and we'll be firing into darkness if you don't identify yourself.
Giggy steps into the firelight.
All right. By the way, chat made a comment roughly with an illustration that the only reason Geggy critically succeeded at stealth was little wings kept her off the,
That's pretty
sand,
cool.
the crunching sand. You step
Hover
into,
mode.
You step into the light, and the main guy with the original sword out, you identify him as a rank of captain. He lowers his blade, seeing more warden emblem on you. He says, "You really are a warden."
Yes. And I'm worried that a company has wandered too far south into these dangerous lands. You don't watch these lands. They're not yours to maintain.
And the second guy who was laying down, he looks up and glares at the first, who gets a gentle boot into his shoulder, like an "I told you so" type look.
Your wandering has apparently caused you some injuries. I'm offering some assistance. You don't belong here, but your journey back will be perilous in your current state.
We will not look the gift of Solene at twice. We thank all help we can get.
Wait here. And
He looks confused. Did I imagine a pixie just came in here?
I must be really injured.
I've lost a lot of blood!
they don't believe in pixies.
You'll see pixies a couple nights in Thave if you're up too late.
Gegi comes back and rouses the boy.
Ah! Yes. I'll get right on it. I'm sorry.
Swing.
It's not time for combat.
Is it time to get the horses
We're going to
ready?
need your services.
No, not again.
Please don't make this awkward.
He rubs sleep out of his eyes.
Grab your stuff. Let's go.
But I was told this was my 3 hours of sleep for this night.
3? You're overpaid.
He gets up wearing a Ebenezer Scrooge robe and cap.
Waking Adawind, saying, I'm borrowing your squire.
What? For what?
Some guards, a company of guards, have managed to get themselves lost and injured, and they're not far away. I'd like to see them safely back, but we're not going back. So, some potion making, perhaps? Some salves, perhaps?
I will come as well.
Are you sure?
Yes, we must render what aid we can.
Do the champions of Karel always sleep naked? If you go dress yourselves,
Only
we'll
in
wait.
Fave.
Only Fave. Gathering the group and heading over there to render aid.
All right. Happily, the squire helps get you armored, and the whole group is awoken. And you head over towards.
Well, I figured we'd leave the old man sleeping.
Okay.
But, you know.
I think.
Snowdor.
75% of the heroes.
Stog will stay with Zaldor. Watch over.
50% of the heroes.
I'm staying.
Khaki stage.
The boys there happily slowly walks.
Not again.
Wake us when you're done.
It's turning into a Zap Brannigan green alien guy situation. All right. The two of you with happily 3 of you head over there. And Adwin, you take the lead as you walk into the firelight.
Mm-hmm.
A soldier stands even taller upon seeing you and says, a priest of Karahel.
I'm no priest. I am the champion of Karahel, Sir Adwin,
He nods. He says, I am Captain Valorel.
first knight of Karahel. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, as odd as it is, Captain.
He holds out a hand. I'm astonished to see a warden here and now a Karahel soldier.
Knight.
He
I did mention Sir at the beginning of my name, I believe.
We need to work on diplomacy as well.
Diplomacy.
They
Well,
didn't mention the reasoning for being here, but seeing their injuries, I thought you and your squire would be of service. Yagio goes and picks up his badge.
May we tend to your wounded?
He says, of course. We are grateful for any and all help.
And Adwin will go over to the more critically injured of the two and indicate for Happily Jr. Does Happily Jr. have a first name?
Happily Jr.? Yes, his name is Happily Jr.
We'll send Junior over to take care of the less critically wounded of the two.
Okay.
Adwin is inspecting the wounds, trying to figure out how they likely occurred.
Make a medicine roll.
So, Captain, how were you wounded?
22.
22. You cannot discern how they were wounded other than bear animal type thing, maybe. But you do believe soldier number 4, the most critically wounded, is mortally wounded.
Will lay on hands help in such a situation?
It will help soothe the pain and extend the mortality. That's not right.
This doesn't grow back spleens, but you'll wish it.
It's hospice level 2.
You'll linger in pain longer.
You're welcome.
Will medicine,
It's thoughts and
like an actual medicine check, healing help more than the
You really needed
Is
one
there-
Jericho.
Is there any way to unmortal his wounds?
To unmortify him. An expert level in medicine with a 26 roll.
What about just a trained in medicine?
That would be a negative.
Okay. I'm gonna pull the captain aside after a little bit then.
Okay.
I'm afraid your man is mortally wounded, and I can heal him to some degree, but it will only extend, at the end of the day, it will only extend how long he is in pain for. Though that pain will be lessened slightly. I am happy to do this, but I cannot undo the damage that has been done. I would need somebody more skilled than that, whom I know, but foolishly has not accompanied us.
He says,
Gary.
Gary stands haughtily.
the Force Ghost.
The Force Ghost.
If Hayden
only.
Christian for some reason.
Sand in Thay. Okay, never mind.
He says,
It's everywhere.
I had hopes that his situation would be better, but that's why we decided to stop here and make our first fire in days.
How is this man injured?
We were attacked by something predictable and something unpredictable and have been on the run for some time. We're trying to get back to Navarre.
Can you be more and less circumspect?
He's not paid for those big words.
He sits down at a rock and starts to drift off in his eyes to, you see some look of frustration and distance, almost a little bit of the 1,000-yard stare. And he tells you his tale. Thavian brigands attacked a merchant convoy in Navarre. It was our duty to hunt these brigands down. They stole, killed, and ran off with goods before crossing the border into Thave. We tracked them deep into the desert on the outskirts of Kreevorn Forest, but we ran into more than we bargained for. We thought it was just going to be brigands. But when we caught up to them, the brigands were already dead, with queen shades standing over their bodies. And he looks at you for any acknowledgement.
Do I know what queen shades are?
Zeldor
One of these.
just suddenly tosses in sleep. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
The name of one of the blood witches.
And Aduin, hearing the pixie voice in his ear, nods.
He says, these assassins of the blood witches, they had done our work for us, or so we thought. But the brigands weren't just dead, there was something else. The Queen Shade's assassins, they had cut open the chest of one of the brigands. It didn't look like a battle wound. They did something to that corpse. And then the Shades brought out something they had with them in chains. A man. No, a creature. Swarming with purple vines that snaked around and even through its body. It was a tormented man. They brought this nightmare man to the dead brigand, and it plunged its hands into the corpse's chest, to the cheers of the Queen Shades. The purple vines of his body were just... It was just awful. And he looks off into the starlight.
I am sorry that you've dealt with this. I've heard much of these blood witches, so I've not had the misfortune to encounter them. There are those amongst my group who have, and they rightly seem to fear them.
Their atrocities don't just end there. We should not tarry long.
even with this crew, leaning in so the captain's not hearing.
Okay.
And really, we should be offering a mercy for this one.
Showing you just the tiny bit of his dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Valerel says, but I warn you, these assassins of the Blood Witches, these Queen Shades, what they did with this tormented man, we should have run when we saw it, but I swear by Solene, the dead brigand leapt up off the ground once this beast had put its hands into its chest, and it was alive. It had its own twisted vines within it. It was some sort of horrible puppet abomination. Not some corpse, not some zombie, but a tormented man just like the first. And they sent both of them after us. And we ran. And I lost several good men. And we fled as fast as we could go for several days now. And what you see is what is left of my command.
How many is a company typically in size?
I didn't say company. Pixie.
Damn!
Don't even believe in you.
That's Warden.
Your man is on his own then, if that's the way this is going to be.
I will heal him then. How do you like that?
The severity of this ritual might be extreme, but things like this are not uncommon.
Well, we can ease your man's passing, or we can extend.
He
Geki
said,
picks up a rock.
a small one in each hand.
Just a big small size.
A pebble.
Cracking them.
Let me know when he's dead.
It'll take a few hits.
3 hours later.
He says, he would want a quick death. And we also need
He's
it.
dead. Geki's good.
First.
Dips.
Oh, shotgun!
Nose goes.
Shall I do it then?
And Aduin stoically nods to Gegi.
All right. He says, before you do. And the other wounded man, with the help of Hapley and the second soldier and himself, the three of them gather around over the fourth soldier and give a prayer to Solene and finish with, for the honor of Navarre and the council. And then they let's say they turn their backs. They stay right there and turn their backs to what must be done. Skloosh, 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 just rock after rock.
Bring me a heavier stone. This is interesting.
I'm not quite dead.
Gegi whispers to the man.
You're gonna die now.
Hands of a
You're in the jungle, baby.
In my kind, we eat those.
Actually, he could heal you.
we are as bad as you think we are.
Just like the prophecy told.
Gegi whispers to the man, saying,
Respect to Solene, who will guide you on your way, but the many fathers who will see it pass.
And you end his life?
yes.
All right.
Full attack.
Slice across his forehead to slowly bleed him.
Oh, is it here? Is it here?
It's Inglorious Bastards at this point. Captain Valerel comes over to you, Aduin, and says thank you.
You're welcome.
And
It is a ugly business.
What will you be doing next?
We have business of our own. And we are heading towards some other city's name who I keep
Kreevorn.
Kreevorn. We are
We keep telling everyone where we're going.
Exposition nightmares again.
we're headed south.
He says, I will not pry. You have your mission.
I assume you are making your way at best speed back to Calavier,
We are heading back to Mirskan.
to Mirskan.
You
Yes.
are correct. He says, paying you the courtesy that he can.
Well, we wish you good speed.
He says, and you. And you part ways and travel again.
Is Hapley an expert in healing? Could we healed him?
You have to be now trained.
He's in the background. Sir, I can. No, sir, please. I can help him. No,
It's not your place.
Heal when you're asked to heal only.
And wash otherwise.
Don't tell me about these germ theory that you have. Stick to
That
the
is
facts.
ridiculous.
Stick to science.
The science of bloodletting.
Bring me the leeches.
All right, you continue to travel on horseback, the four of you. Stretching out before you is a vast salt flat. Each step you take causes the cracked crystalline surface to crunch underfoot. The taste of salt lingers on your tongue, and it doesn't take long before the sand is in the corner of your mouth, irritating your eyes and getting beneath your clothes. You continue to travel further. Another day or so goes by, and you wake up to glistening snow over the desert that stretches as far as the eye can see. The cold bites at your skin, and your breath turns to mist in the frigid air. This unusual snow creates crunching softly beneath you, and you feel the snow slipping beneath your horses as well. As you look around, you notice how the dunes, frozen in place, look like waves in this wintry, silent sea as you make your way continuing southwest. As you continue to travel, the snow melts. You pass by large rock outcroppings that cast strange shadows. You ride around them and through them. It almost brings some reminiscent feelings to the strange, darker rock outcroppings back in hell that you pass through on the way towards the lava sea. Strange little lizards dart amongst the rocks. Wind blows through them, creating an eerie, almost mournful tune with the wind. And you continue heading south. And as our view watches through between two of these rock boulders, seeing our heroes far off in the distance continuing to ride through the desert, our camera passes by one of these rocks, and you see the outline of a silver cord around the edge of one of these rocks. Finally, you catch sight of the first signs of Kreevorn. Small tarp-covered stalls dot the horizon, splashes of color against the endless sand. You hear some sound of haggling voices from a cliffside, tall cliff that the town is butted up against. And as you approach, you feel the ground hard beneath your feet, giving way to loose sand. From loose sand to rough cobblestone that was built here from a forgotten age that Kreevorn was built itself upon. And you ride into the town. It's a average-sized town of a couple hundred people. You see a lot of agriculture, a lot of weaving, basket-related stuff. There's this cobblestone main path that goes through, and then there's like a separate part which are these caves that are cut into the cliffside, where you see there are more shop type things set up with open curtains and then racks of rugs, racks of sheepskin, racks of urns to be sold. So there's some trading stuff going on. Some of them are 20, 30 feet up with ramps that have been built up. And these are the trading caves that Seth was snickering about earlier are here in O'Plenty as you enter Kreevorn.
So is Kreevorn like at a junction where there's like different trade routes coming through, or is it like these are all textiles that these people are creating?
This is a creation point, and it's not a major trade fair or trade point. And you don't know this, but you'll hear it from our Thavian experts who share this, Gegi and Zaldor. There's a bunch of small towns around here, so they all feed their trade crafts into there. So it's like the ultimate farmer's market that's permanently there. That trade can be done before it moves off into other more busier trade hubs.
On our map, where is Kreevorn located? Is it the base of the Blood Hills? Did you just say that and I just didn't write it down?
You did not hear that from me, and I did not say that. You guys went southwest, so you were just north of the Wooded Winds, underneath the S in Winds.
Other side, okay.
This is the west side of the Kingdom of Thave.
What's that big forest to the south? The Whispering Winds?
The Wooded Winds.
Wooded Winds.
Wooden winds?
Wooded Winds. There's druids that are there. It's a druid location.
Huh.
I mean, Adwin wouldn't know that, but
No.
Zaldor knows many things.
Yeah. I bet Sildren would know that.
Silhu.
Mayor of the 13 Towers.
I don't think you know how right you are. Using just kind of his general knowledge of it and going around, Zaldor will look for things that have been disturbed or otherwise different in Kreevorn. Who are the people that are afraid? Is there anything that has been previously destroyed or appears to be rebuilt? Something that doesn't seem run-of-the-mill daily business of Kreevorn. Zaldor's going to be kind of keeping his eyes open and checking for
All right.
the differences of
Edwin as well.
Zaldor and Adwin, you guys rope off your horses at a very simple, partially covered stable type area, very basic wooden half shack. You throw a couple coins their way, and then you start walking around through the town, trying to gather some information. You'll take a couple hours to do so, and then we'll see what happens. What about our barbarian and pixie? Oh, and what do we have? We have elf and human wizard. You get some casual looks. Most of these people are Thavians. There's a few more northern style humans, and then some of the other races. But these races here are more of the lizard folk and goblin and cat folk style, with you see one or two Yosoki as well, as opposed to dwarves and elves of the traditional gnomes and halflings.
Pixies.
Definitely no pixies here.
Gegi
close,
is focused
Junior.
on hiding as best as possible from everybody. They know where I'm at, but I need to stay put
Are you
and out of the way.
going in town or staying out of town?
I'd be staying out of town.
Okay. So you're going to stay on some rock outcropping overlooking the town.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right. Stog?
Do you need backup out here?
Don't expect any trouble right now.
Should I stay with him or go with you?
Oh, Gegi will protect you. Stay with Gegi. You're welcome to come with us, of course, but it will be narrow. So you'll have to watch your elbows and shoulders. Again.
Oh, I don't like that. I'll stay with Gegi.
Okay.
All right. Adwin and Zaldor, you spend some time looking through the town, looking for anything. Describe it again.
Yeah, so Zaldor is looking for anything that appears to be recently destroyed, recently rebuilt, or otherwise in a state of disarray from what would be the normal state of the trading caves of Kreevorn. Something that looks as though there was a problem here or an urgent need of a disaster.
Okay.
And Adwin is paying attention more to the people and sort of seeing if there's like a natural fear that is settled in, like, you know, like people are anticipating, you know, some danger that might not normally be there. And how his aura of courage as he goes through the crowd, extending 15 feet, if that seems to actually, you know, be removing an innate fear that these people seem to be suffering from, as if, you know, the evil has already set in and they're expecting it to be, coming at them at any time. So he's sort of using his aura to sort of see if he can judge, a change in people as he heads through.
Okay, and Stog, you're staying with Geggy.
That's correct.
Okay, hours go by, and it gets into the mid-afternoon, and I need the two of you to make society rolls.
Ooh, society.
I love me a good society roll.
Not often.
26.
Ooh.
That's better than my 15.
All right.
True, those are.
Zaldor, you discover nothing that seems out of place or destroyed or rebuilt or not functioning correctly within the city, the town itself. Adowin, you detect nothing unusual about fear within the people. They seem like everything is just an average, everyday type experience for them. There's no fear that you detect. You are able to find some room and board if you want. They don't have a proper inn, but there's a warehouse that's the nicest place, and they have extra rooms to rent if you would like.
Adowin, my lad, this place seems perfectly normal.
I am not detecting any particular fear or sense of foreboding amongst the people.
Or as urgent as Kelly and Varro seemed to mention that there was a great threat here.
Or
Perhaps
soon
we've
to
beaten it.
come.
There's a chance that we got here in time.
Or it has just not shown itself yet and lingers here hidden yet.
I suppose we should tell the others.
Let us.
Zaldor does stop by to see if the inn could accommodate all four of us and potentially a couple more.
Yes.
Do you take pixies?
It's a young man. He says, yes, well, we'll take any and all. Your coin's good here.
No, that's too bad. I will not be staying here then.
He actually seems rather impressed. He says, we'll take your Navaran coin, and apparently there's a better exchange rate here in this part of Thay for it.
Wonderful. I will give him 2 coppers.
Okay.
Whatever it takes. We'll
All right.
We'll book the rooms for fortnight.
20 nights? What's a fortnight?
Shitty video game.
True.
We'll say a week.
Sure.
Week.
A half fortnight.
Half fortnight is what some people would call that. All right. You throw some coin their way, and what would you guys like to do for half a fortnight?
Seek out a great evil.
Seek out a great evil. Got it.
So I think the next step is probably to speak with some of the locals about Queen Shades and finding what rumors are about and learning which Blood Witch is in control of Kreevorn and what the recent news has been of her power here.
Okay.
And if we're all in Kreevorn now, then Stog will be.
Well, not all.
We're just left out there.
No, but you're in.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Geggy is in as well. Yeah.
I'm just saying-
I
But
think
I
he was
was
saying
able
there's
to
2
catch
others that maybe
Yeah.
aren't here yet.
Who?
I don't know.
Okay.
I forget.
So Stog will be casting Detect Magic as he walks around the town.
All right.
And then looking for anything kind of in his realm of expertise, anything that feels kind of, I don't know, occultish or he's very interested because this is a new culture for him and a new setting and wants to kind of take all of that in, but is particularly on the lookout for any kind of strange, rituals or ceremonies or things like that.
Okay.
Stog is always that guy that's looking for the year-round Halloween store.
100%. Yeah.
Spirit Thave.
Spirit theft.
Do you guys have
Still
crystals? I was looking for crystals and scrolls. You have crystals and scrolls?
So he goes to
I'll take
Spencer
some
Gifts.
slime.
I need spider web. Anyone a spider web?
Silly string.
All right, you guys spend some time heading off throughout the town looking for those manners of things.
And who's the leader? Like, Adwin would be interested in sort of learning about the leadership of this town and
All right.
maybe even meeting them and
Adwin, you are told the mayor of the town is Vrol, V-R-O-L, and he'll be returning from the town of Sarvid in just a few days. You also...
Can I learn why he went to Sarvid?
You can make a society roll twice.
I will do that. First one is a 15, and second one is a 14.
Okay. No.
Okay.
And Stog, you see there is a strange matted white-haired guy who has clay inside of his hair, who has white clay rubbed on his face, wearing loincloth and maybe a scrap of a shirt, even when it's cold at night out. And you pass by him. You don't pay him much heed, except he is constantly keeping an eye on Geggy, if Geggy's in town.
Geggy is not.
And then never mind. Everything I said he does not do. He then is just watching you nonchalantly. And he's
You don't come into town at night, Keggy?
I thought it was late afternoon.
We're going for a couple of days here.
Oh, okay. Then yes, eventually, yeah. Trying to travel and make his way into the town stealthily.
So Stog, you then see wherever Geggy goes, this guy is just keeping an eye on Geggy. Not following anything, but just watching and glaring.
Geggy, have you spotted the guy over there with the clay all over him? He's got dirt everywhere.
And now I see him.
I think he likes you.
I'm flattered. But I'm more what he thinks of what he might get for a pair of wings.
Oh, would you sell them?
Yeah. Try not to if I can help them.
Well, should we have a word?
You only get one pair every 20 years. What's that?
Should we have a word with him?
It's not causing us any trouble right now. But I need to get out of view.
You want to get on my shoulder?
No, out of view.
Oh. Could you fit in my backpack?
I don't think I could. I should stay in the room. I will stay in the room.
All right, you stay in the room. And again, it's not an inn proper. It's just some Spartan guest room on one of the biggest places. There's a young man named Tien who's taking your coin and giving you the room. He mentions, I think you asked this, I'm pretty sure you asked this, Adwin. He mentions his father, Nuat, who's headed to a neighbor town, should be back in just a couple days as well. He did mention something about the Queen Shades before he left.
What did he mention about the Queen Shades?
His son, Tien, who's renting the room, I cannot recall.
Just for clarification, the Queen Shades are like assassins for all the blood. I mean, I don't know anything about Fave. Luck's not there, but like, just for clarification for everyone, these Queen Shades are like just assassins for all of the Blood Witches, or are they
for a specific Blood Witch?
Or what? What's just?
They would be for all, but certain ones can be underneath a specific Blood Witch. They are essentially the physical reach for the Blood Witch, which the Blood Witches would do the magical controlling of the kingdom, and the Queen Shades are the more nastier physical representation. And then the Queen Shades ultimately report to the Queen, who is the ultimate Blood Witch over the entire kingdom. So they have a different hierarchy of following different orders at different times. Okay. Good question.
Clear as mud.
I mean,
what's the org chart look
just
like?
didn't know what the Blood Witch, if they were like under a hierarchy, or there's just like several witches about that. Yeah, just trying to figure it out.
And Aduin, one more time, what were you doing over the next couple of days? Sorry, not Aduin. I got that. I'm sorry. I was looking at Jeremy. Zeldor.
Zeldor. So Zeldor is making the rounds. He's practicing his glad handing and learning of people, and mostly diving into the underworld lore and learning more about what the kind of the literal underground, but really what the underworld is like in the Kreevorn area. So the friends in low places, the people that actually do the commerce, not just the facade you see in the trading caves.
Okay. Make a society roll.
Cool. Can I do anything other than society?
No.
Just checking.
And Aduin is doing some other things as well.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So I rolled a 4. So I'm going to add all of my skills in society. So it's a 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You learned nothing. That roll is absolutely complete and finished. Derek, please now hand out a hero point. Christopher receives the hero point.
Pays to be in the hotel.
Yeah, but that costs extra when you take it out of the basket in the hotel. It's like $5 a hero point. All right, Aduin, you say something else?
Yeah, I'm also really exploring the town and looking for, like going out into like dark places and into the caves and, poking around outside the town to see if there's like physically getting to know the place as well and where there might be a great evil lurking around.
Okay.
Aduin, before you make any rolls, I just need to make a retcon point of reference. Zaldor, Wizard of the Seventh Tower, Keeper of the Wind Spheres over the Thousand Isles, also has underworld lore, which isn't society, of course, but I figured that might be better for learning the lore of the, say, underworld of Thave, that perhaps Zaldor could roll that instead.
Please.
I'm gonna do that. All right, so underworld lore.
This feels like a trick.
For
He
Zaldor.
wants you to roll a 1.
So this time Zaldor rolled a 9, and with underworld lore that takes it up to a 20.
Okay. You learn nothing.
Dang.
But you were stylish
I
about it.
apologize so much for interrupting you. That was an important moment
It's
for
okay.
me.
He was just constantly going,
I feel like you're being toyed with.
no.
No. No. Don't be silly.
All right. Aduin is prowling around into strange nooks and crannies, trying to find unusual, strange situations, events, vibes, and feelings. Anything, again, from Geggy and Stog over these next couple of days. There's every shop selling anything you could possibly imagine in a created sense. So again, we're talking like linens,
Tapestries?
linens,
some things.
tapestries, rugs, carts, it's limited agriculture, some wheat, that kind of stuff, but nothing totally exotic. This is not underworld central. That would be more Sarvid and the main other cities.
No, that's what he wants you to think.
So Stog would do 2 things. First one, the way Geggy spoke about maybe the man wanting his wings did not sit well with Stog, so Stog would definitely have a conversation with this dirty individual. But he's also going to try to have a cloak made about Geggy's size that is a little bit bigger so that it could maybe hold the wings, just kind of
Conceal them more?
Yeah, conceal them, but also be comfortable and not like crush them.
Okay.
Yeah.
With like big 2 bedazzled wings on the back of
There
it.
you go. Yeah.
All right.
These are my
With a button deploy.
real wings. Yeah.
All right. Okay. You
Victoria's Secret catwalk-esque.
You are getting that cloak made, and some time goes by. You were speaking to the clay guy,
Yeah.
who chat has now deemed his name as Clay God, by the way.
Clay God. Nice. Yeah, Stog walks up to Clay God and says, I couldn't help but notice you took an interest in my friend.
Who's your friend?
Who are you?
Who are you?
Oh, see,
I don't think you understand what's happening here.
It's introduction
I'm
tennis.
asking the questions.
And he will definitely be intimidating this gentleman.
All right. You will, in just a second, make an intimidation roll. Before you do, note that he will be urinating one way or the other based on the roll. Doesn't matter. He will be peeing. It just determines what the intent is behind the urination.
Fair enough.
And where it
On you or on himself?
All right, so intimidation roll.
Yes, please.
All right. I'm going to burn a hero point for that. I rolled a 3, and my intimidation is high, but I really want this one.
You will not pee on me.
That's better. So that's an 11, and with my intimidation, that becomes a 23.
Oh, he starts to wet himself. And his loincloth is soaked, and he looks very nervous and shaky. I don't want any trouble. Leave me alone.
I'll leave you alone just as soon as you tell me what you wanted with my friend.
The little thing, I don't like pixies. They're disgusting. They go against the will of the blood witches. All Fae are a curse upon the land.
Oh, I see.
But I don't want any trouble.
Is this is this your religion? Is this your beliefs?
It is what I know. I see everything. He moves his hands around crazily, stepping around in a small pool of wet sand.
Well, what do you see? Exactly.
I see you are tormenting a wise man for no reason. He torments for no reason. He shouts out to no one. The people of this town don't pay him much attention. Someone walks by you and just pats you reassuringly on the shoulder.
Yeah. Stog is trying to determine if this is just some crazy nut job, just wacko, or if this is like a more fervent, like religious belief. Yeah, I guess that's where he's trying to go with this.
Sure, make a religion 27, please.
Oh, shit. Okay.
You land.
Ho ho!
That's a natural 20.
Somehow,
Urine is real.
in some way, your supernatural connection to the other world, you know that there is a political following behind the Blood Witches as they control Thave, but there are a few people that get too close to the power of the Blood Witches and they become a bit crazy themselves, like this strange clay goddish figure that you have found here, and they spout nonsense. Sometimes they spout truth, but sometimes they can provide aid to the Blood Witches, so most people stay clear of them. There's a supernatural occasional connection between them and the Blood Witches when the Blood Witches seek it.
He's wearing a hat that says "Make Faith Great Again."
Right. All right. Understanding that we don't want to be too close to this gentleman, but definitely wanting this guy to stay far from us, Dog just leans in and says,
We won't be here long. And I trust you won't be making problems for us while we're here.
No problems from me, no. I only watch. You've heard that before from another Thavian.
Yes.
Well, perhaps while we're walking by, you turn the other way.
What? Oh, and he turns around.
That's better.
and Stog will leave him be.
All right. Adwin, you find nothing regarding secret darkness within unusual places. Nothing fearful. And again, checking with the vibe of the people, there's no fear or worry that they particularly have, other than getting ready for a bizarre cold winter, since it snowed not too long ago here, which is rare.
And at some point when we're all together, do we wish to see what tapestry makers are in the area and speak with them? You had a message of some concern, I believe, sent to you, Geggy, if I remember.
No, that was me.
Zaldor.
I spoke with Luminera.
Yes.
Yes, she mentioned that we must find the rug maker, or it would be the destruction of us all. Perhaps we should have done that 3 days ago when we arrived.
We should have taken her warning more seriously.
I was meaning to tell you, but it's a new town. I was excited.
Too
Shaved
busy
ice available.
rolling around in the underworld.
It's not like we've been rushing the clock or anything by any means. Let's go about and find the rug makers here. And they do.
Okay.
We should all go together.
Rug maker.
Oh, that's made for you.
Oh, perfect. Geggy throws it on, feels a lot less self-conscious about wandering out
All
in
right.
this bright pink tutu.
Bright pink tutu that says Stog's bitch on the back.
It's that glitter.
It's bedazzled.
Are there significant structures here? Is it all kind of run down?
It's run down,
ramshackle?
dry, ranch
Okay.
style, single story.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing too fancy. Nothing like the huge triple story stuff back in Tabernae and Mirskan. Okay.
Geggy is definitely in the middle of this wandering horde of players and trying to
Blend in.
Blend in.
All right. Zaldor, you find your way leading the group to a rug maker, you said?
Yes.
All right. You find only one rug maker here in the town, and you lead the group there. It is in one of these narrow caves. There's several of them, kind of like pockmarked. I don't know what kind of stone that is, that lava-style stone, that porous-style stone. But
Pumice?
Pumice, but on a larger scale.
No, made of chickpeas.
And there's pulled back drapery, and you see several different bunch of rugs hanging from it. A older lady is just leaving now with a rolled up rug, and she nods at you, a stranger, and
Flourish.
you know,
Do you still
don't
say
have
it?
to say
You are saying it.
and you head inside with your allies, and you are inside this rug shop. It has some incense burning, smelling of sandalwood, and rugs galore of all different colors.
Every rug shop does not always have to smell of sandalwood. I know they all do, but they don't all have to.
But this one does. It rolled a 20 or a 1.
We're 21.
Yes. You see from the smaller back portion, partitioned off with some other rugs hanging from some lines, the old rug dealer comes out. Not a thave, a traditional northern Navaran looking guy with a grayish beard, and he comes out and says, oh, hello.
Greetings. I am Zaldor, Wizard of the Seventh Tower, Keeper of the Wind Spheres over the Thousand Isles, and these are my friends. We are interested in what you are interested in. I see you make lots of rugs, and I was wondering if you perhaps may have been expecting us.
Didn't I already speak with you a couple days ago?
Yes, likely.
Or
No.
was it longer than that?
I believe it may have been perhaps a distance ago, a couple of days ago. I was with my friends here in the Fenmarrow Forest, where we encountered one Luminara, the Omen Dragon, who told us to approach you.
I don't know anything about any dragon, but you're Zaldor?
Aye.
I was expecting a Yasoki. No, a Goliath.
I cannot speak to either of those. It's only been me that I know of.
Well, come in.
But the Yasoki does make more sense. At least.
I've never met a Goliath before. Yeah, they're big.
There was a time a prior ally of ours, who hopefully might be joining us soon, thought I might have been a Yosoki at one point. I only recall being a Zaldor.
He tosses some dirty pillows onto a rug and says, sit. Yes, I was expecting you. And I think I recognize you, he says, pointing to Adwin, and maybe you, pointing at Gegi. And he looks at Stog and says, you are not familiar to me.
I have that same problem.
Not familiar at all. And he sits down. Oh! I think it's been too long since we last spoke.
I feel like it's been perhaps ages, if ever.
So much has happened, but it's always so confusing and cloudy as things come in one direction and out the other, and I never quite know. You have dealt with energy, right? That's what you're dealing with.
Yes. Great energies.
What kind of energy? I have to know where we're at.
Have you seen my dragon belt? Sorry.
It is the wrong sort of energy.
He said great energy.
Directly, I deal with the elemental planes. I work with the spheres, bladed wind spheres over 1,000 dials.
Oh, magic.
Yes.
But not Goliath. Human.
Yes. Human wizard of the 7th tower.
All right. It's confusing, but yes. That's right. You're in mortal danger.
Yes.
In more danger than you can imagine.
Oh.
That's
Sounds
right.
about right.
Everything.
I'm in danger.
Everything is in danger. Everything is in great danger. Everything is coming apart. He is unraveling all the work that we have done. And you've done great work, but oh yes, now it comes back to me. This is terrible, he says excitedly.
Is there... I mean, thank you. I'm afraid it is terrible. You said everything's unraveling all the work that we've done before.
Yes.
How do we stop him?
He is way more powerful than you can handle. I do not think you can stop him. The book is beyond strength that you can imagine, and it is beyond sight. I can't even tell you where. Let alone he himself. I don't know. There might be a way to protect yourself from this, if I can recall, but it's all hazy.
Do try. Is there something I can do to help jog or clarify your memory?
You are a human priest?
I'm a human wizard.
Wizard! Even better. You have magics in a book.
Yes.
Let's see that book.
That's not... Well...
I left it in Tavern.
Saldor
This is awkward.
reaches inside of his cloak of pouches, and in his cloak pouch, well, this is a dragon statue, much like the one you're just seeing there. Puts it back in, and this is a dagger, but it's not entirely intended for you. And puts that back in, and I can't recall
anything at all with writing or pages or
Yeah.
a quill.
Of course. Let me just reach into. That's not no, and I don't. What if
Adwin produces a book of Carahel and a quill to go
Okay.
with that.
that's not mine?
And Stog hands over
Sounds accusatory.
the scroll with Cup of Dust written on it.
I
Okay.
didn't make that.
He takes the Carahel book.
I don't. I still can control the elements and the wind spheres.
He's not paying you any attention. He's touching the book.
I don't have.
And he touches and he looks at the back and the front of the book, but he doesn't open the book. He says, it's about this book. This book is the key. And he continues holding on to your book of Carol. Aren't you also like writing some sort of squire duties
I am.
In this book as
Yes.
well? All right.
I am making them up as I go along, as the case is.
All right.
It's all squire haiku.
Yeah.
Squaiku.
Squaiku.
He says, listen to me closely as this is important. You must continue on in your quests in this world. I am here now to tell you this. Again.
The quests that we must continue on are the same quests or different? As you're repeating it to us.
The work that you do is important to this world, but what I'm telling you will save many more. A book was written, he says, holding the small book in his hand. A book written with the most powerful words ever known. With months, perhaps years of careful writing by a master who knows this, the book can rewrite anything. And I do mean anything. The world, the reality, what was. This power is staggering. And it gets worse as the wrong man has this book. And he is using it to make things as he sees fit. So what you are doing, whatever journey you are on now, continue. I'm sure it is important. I have seen in your hearts time and time and time again that what you do is important. Whether it was trying to deal with the Queen's cabal, trying to deal with that sleeping undead nightmare, what you do is important. But this has changed everything. And I think it may have changed you. For he doesn't know where you are or who you are, but he has a way to affect you if he can. Almost petulantly, I think.
Who is he?
Who is he? He looks sad for a bit. He is a banished god. A god sent to a dark prison known as the Void. A prison inescapable. Except he was brought back years ago to your world here, brought back by lies and deceit. He descended upon this world in his iron fortress and unleashed his legion army upon your world. He is Sher Mordred, and he is still present. And he now has the most dangerous power you can imagine. And by that I mean not his army, not his strength, not his spells, and he does have those. But he has this book, hidden in a place where no one can find, and where he can turn the world and yourselves into something entirely different if given enough time. It takes time, but it is insidious.
How do we find him? How do we defeat him?
I have an answer to neither of your questions. He is in hiding. And while he works against me, and he works against you.
Can we find a book that cannot be found?
I don't have that answer.
Who are you?
I don't have that answer. I am someone who is here to help. I try to help as much as I can. I'm not from here, he says, pointing to the cave. But I can't recall fully where I'm from. I know there's spheres. You mentioned spheres, he says, pointing at Zaldor.
Yes. Do you know where the book is from?
No. But I know that he had it with him when he arrived here. You are now all affected by this individually. You are not quite yourselves, but I don't know how to fix you, Xander. You have to figure it out.
Gonna write that note down real quick.
All I can say, and I wish I could share more, is that you are not ready for him, but you can protect yourself from this happening more. It will not help you undo this, but you can protect yourself more. Seek out Vedonite. It's a material here. It's useless here in this world. But if you keep it close to you, chest, heart, head, it will make the magic of this book very difficult to affect you.
Where can one find Vedonites? And is it known by any other name?
It may be known under another name, but I do not know where. I do not know this world well. But perhaps, and he gets up, perhaps the name, and he goes back behind the partition, and then he comes back out. So are you looking to buy something? We have many rugs for sale. These are on discount.
Are any made of Vedonite?
No. Don't know what that is.
You son of a bitch.
They're lovely.
It's rude coming from the Knight of Carol.
Do you have any that are fawned or known to be fawned by gnomes?
Yeah, this blue one. All gnomes love blue.
All gnomes love blue. I can't disagree with that more. I will take the blue one, sir.
Of course.
How much?
And he gets it for you for 5 silver.
I will give you 3 silver.
He takes it. Pleasure doing business with you.
Fish!
Are we all getting rugs?
No, dog. This is just my rug. It's going to be for Jericho once we see him. We'll see him again. Blah. Side my pouch.
How big was this rug?
It's gnome rug. How dare you, Pixie?
Just
16 by 20.
They really like to spread out the gnomes. Good day.
That's inches.
Good day. Come back if you're looking for more deals.
Zaldor tries to kind of collect himself, makes very direct eye contact with Gegi, with Stog and Aduin, and starts walking out.
I have a question. Okay.
I felt like I knew him. I've never seen him before, but he was familiar to me.
He had an odd mannerism and a familiarity that was unfamiliar.
He seemed, for the moment, to know quite a bit of what is happening and perhaps what has happened. This name, Shermordrin, that is the attack on Calavier. He was the one that came down, brought the legions, decimated the lands, and, for unknown reasons, left or disappeared. But if this man is correct, and he is in fact a banished god who did not disappear but hid himself, that might speak to the great troubles that we're currently seeing.
Why would a god hide?
Yes.
Fair question.
Well,
Banished perhaps by the others. But that might be something worth learning more about.
The gods are powerful, but they can still be injured. They can still, in many ways, be banished or killed.
Does Cariel hide?
Slap!
Blasphemy!
He spoke of books.
Karahel does what she must, but she is a god of knowledge, a healing. And as such, is there when she needs to be.
She's more of an epilogue god.
You watch your mouth, Pixie.
Dirty.
He did speak of books. I could think of no one more familiar with that topic than a subject of Karahel, no matter how powerful the book.
Yes.
I think this falls into your expertise.
Gods and books would seem to be within my purview.
So what is it you would need?
Well, we need to seek out this Vetonite material. And then we need to seek out information about this Sher Mordrin. He spoke of a book of making and undoing.
Question is, where would we find such information?
The archives. Or perhaps the libraries.
In Thave?
Back to Tabernary.
Well,
Archives, keepers, scrolls, those are all purviews of the witches. And there's a hushed tone from Geggy saying such things.
the capital of Thave would have some,
And witches.
and we have to go to the capital anyways, according to one Callian Varel.
You hear a cry of alarm from your inn, and you see about 5 or 6 people rushing to the inn. The first sign of a disturbance since you've been here.
And Aduin will be on his way towards that as well.
All right.
Geggy puts a hand on you real quick and says something. We don't have to save everyone.
Aduin! Fuck yeah! Save the motherfucking day, yeah!
Aduin gives a
Thave
look
is a dangerous
to
place.
Geggy,
What are you talking about?
almost like a sad look, and then turns away and
Please.
runs towards the warehouse.
Okay.
Don't.
The warehouse?
Okay.
Don't go!
Aduin, you run away from the
You don't have to run.
He runs faster.
the shop cliff area, and you head back to the warehouse with
Tom
some
Cruise
rooms.
run.
Yes.
And as you do, you see there is a crowd of about 10 people now gathered around in a circle and seem quite alarmed. You force your way through the circle, and you see your young warehouse inn caretaker Tien is leaning over a man he's calling father, and his father is there laying on the ground, barely breathing, looking quite ill and sick, with strange purple bright vines going across his neck and mouth and around his eyes, as though afflicted by something horrific. People start to
Geggy's
step
right.
back.
We don't need to help everybody.
He breaks out the Carahel flamethrower. And he can barely breathe. Someone said, when did he get here? He just got here.
This is the one the guards had spoken about.
Yes.
Someone help.
It'll be too late.
I don't think.
Help me.
There's no mercy for this one.
I don't.
We should leave.
I'm nice.
I feel pity for the putting a foot over.
Spite you. I love Carahel.
I feel pity for the man, but this is not for us.
It is beyond my ability to heal. I assume, yeah. There's no way I'm going to be able to counter a Blood Witch's magic And I know exactly, I'm pretty certain it's a Blood Witch's magic.
Did
Zaldor,
you
do you have any way to counter this? Can you dispel it?
I have many spells and spheres and forms, and dispelling is, I'm afraid, not one of those.
I know how to counter this. And Stog unsheathed his sword. Because I'm assuming you told us about the tail.
And as Stog goes to unsheath his sword, Adwin would try to stop that unsheathing.
Swing.
Yeah, that's why I said try.
There's a gasp from a couple crowd members, and Tien says, "What are you doing? He needs a healer."
They're not going to understand, and we will be.
It destroyed a company of cavalry. There are 4 of us.
Someone else next to you says, "Yeah, kill him and wherever he came from, destroy it all."
Could kill the whole town.
Whatever you're going to do it fast.
3, 2, 1. Stog cuts his head off.
All right, there's a scream of
Nothing to see here. Nothing, everyone. Nothing to see.
from Marty McFly by the sound of my voice. From Tien. From Tien, as you cut off his father's head, he grabs onto the head, he touches his father, and then he runs over and starts attacking you, beating on your chest with futile blows.
And Stog will do his best to just
Decapitate him.
hold
3, 2,
hold him and accept that he is in pain.
some of the crowd shocked. The guy who was encouraging you says, "That was good. Good job."
He was, I know Tien, it will not make sense, but he was infested by the Blood Witches, and he was a danger to everybody.
Over
he
your
was
shoulder,
no longer your father.
over your shoulder, creepily, little bits of white clay gather on your shoulder, and you hear, "That was no Blood Witches."
My bad.
Adwin turned sort of angrily towards him. Then what was it?
The strange clay god fellow is there. He says, "I know not, but that's not how their magic works.
Then you know nothing.
I see all."
And we use intimidating prowess against him?
All right, he backs away.
Tinkle, 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 tinkle.
Burn it.
As unpleasant as this may be, he was infected by a dark magic and would have done a great harm to this town. What we do for you, Thavians.
Guardians.
Shh. No. Ixnay on the Garden's A. And, Adwin will burn that body.
Okay, you set up a funeral pyre,
We just burn it
which
right.
is a bunch of wyverns, apparently.
Very solid, dressed in black.
Yes.
You start setting a funeral pyre. Zaldor, you see a tired-looking horse that also has some of this blue, veiny stuff coming out of its nostrils, and it is his father's horse that he just rode in on.
And the horse you rode in on, John.
3, 2, 1.
Does the horse have the same type of ailments? Like it's not breathing well?
No, it just has some of the blue stuff, veiny stuff coming out of its nostrils.
Just hanging out.
Blue boogers.
Zaldor, just a little shocked about all that's happened today. We'll go up and gently pat the side of the horse's deck and say it'll be over soon. And goes to Stog and informs Stog in front of the others there is more infection on the horse. Perhaps it's healable. I don't know. But
Just went up and touched it.
I mean, it's fine.
Fine.
Wizards
Nothing
are
could go
not
wrong.
Affected by certain things.
Plus,
Also, this man I owe money to looks to have these blue veins. Stog,
That one there, and that one there. This one looked at me weird.
that YouTube commenter, yes.
I think I'm gonna need something bigger than my sword for this. Edwin.
Edwin hands a shard over to...
Nope.
Happily. Today's the day, happily.
Swing. Better strike clean and true, buddy.
We let you name it. We let you write it. Now you must finish
I'm
the job.
going to need the axe.
Indeed. And from the satchel of...
Mary Poppins.
I forget the name of it.
Sad music.
The satchel of something or another's.
More whimsical, eh?
More whimsical, yeah.
He will draw out the retribution axe and hand it over to Stog.
What's the last face that's on the retribution axe?
That would have been, I believe, wow, I don't even remember.
Well, I know the next time I ask
cultist?
that question, the answer will be a sad, innocent horse. Okay.
Stog takes the axe and gives it a couple of practice little swings, woof, 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 and then double-handed.
3 other horses are dead.
All right. You have a group of about 25 people from the town watching.
Well, we've made no friends today.
You hear murmurs. What does this mean? This is a bad omen. What do we do?
Burn the horse. And we're going to burn the man and the horse.
Okay.
In light of
And the
this
town
growing
and-
mob mentality, Geki is disappearing into
All
the
right.
darkness. Burn the pixie.
And
They don't seem to have any particular police or protection or anything, so no one's really harassing you guys.
Edwin will turn and be like, fair people of... What's the name of our town again?
Kreevorn, they say in unison.
Fair people of Kreevorn.
Someone, yes.
I am Edwin, Knight of Carahel. And we have heard of this infection before, and it is a great danger to the people of this town. And I am saddened by what has had to happen here today. But the only way to protect you and Thave is by what we have done. And by cleansing with fire what has been infected. And I am sorry that this has had to come upon you. But this town now is safer because of what we have done.
Slap, you hear a wet horse's head being added to the fire.
Make a diplomacy +4 for overall soothing, please.
That is a natural 20.
Yeah. That's a good sign for that.
The crowd murmurs in
You're
approval.
welcome.
Maybe it starts him well.
Maybe it's the flourish that's infectious.
The crowd murmurs, "Oh, you know that they had to. No, it's good." And but what does this mean? And they seem concerned and worried, but appreciative at the same time. A older Thavian comes up and says, "Thank you for your help. You did well, stranger."
Of course. We are guardians of... What's the name of this town again? Kreevorn! As well as Tabinry. Of all of the lands.
And the same old guy says, "But what next? Where this curse? If it will return. And why Nuat?"
Why Nuat I cannot speak of, other than he must have run into another infected, or it ran into him. But now that we are aware of this, we will seek out what is the source of this and seek to destroy it. Because we are guardians.
Guardians of what?
What's the name of this town again?
It's Kreevorn.
Of
I've written it on the back of your sheet.
all of the lands.
Then you're good men. These are good men. And the town's turns into a very positive group of townsfolk that really respond well to Aeduin, and they bring out the freshest fruit and food they can, some extra soft bedding that's Thavian made, some sleep bedrolls that are super comfortable yet super rugged, and get you guys all supplied up as best as you could ever imagine.
And in a quiet moment with somebody who seemed knowledgeable, Aeduin will inquire about Vedonite. Have you ever heard of this material, this Vedonite? It is a material.
You don't get any bites on Vedonites.
Might be known by another name. It's a protective type material.
It's red phosphorus.
It protects against scrying magic, perhaps.
They don't know even that word.
Sons of bitches.
Stog is also going to try to just... Tian's been through a lot. He,
Yeah, you just murdered his father.
Yeah.
You're not going to collect another boy.
How old are you? Too old.
I just
my
killed
God.
your dad, but let me take care of it.
And try to
You
explain.
can call me father now.
Yeah.
You're like, Tian, there now. Did you see the 20? You should be fine now. That was a good diplomacy roll. You're fine.
Camera pans to the corral of boys again, and then back.
Stog explains that for Tian's safety, he should
Become the
come up with
second
a
squire of
believable story other than his. Well, no, never mind. I take that back. To
Tian's response so far is,
tell whoever comes seeking after this,
The Guardians were here.
that the Guardians were here and protected this town.
It's like Jedi mind power.
Yeah.
he's more in the bush telling him what to
Yeah.
say.
And hell's coming with us.
You hear me? Hell's coming with me!
All right, Kurt. All right, take it down a notch.
Or I'll protect you like I protected your dad.
All right, what would you guys like to do?
Sleep in the very quiet inn that we're still part of.
Awkwardly now.
Apparently, we're also hunting.
Sobbing.
We're also hunting blood witch assassins now. Thanks.
Giggy is
Anytime, my friend, anytime.
after this is settled and everyone's kind of squared away and whatnot. Giggy's checking the horse to see where it's been.
The one
as
we
far
burned?
as-
The horse is burned.
Before we get to all of that, is that possible?
No, you were too enraptured with the natural 20 diplomacy that the horse got burned.
Damn you and your successes. Right.
Well,
Wouldn't burn a saddle. Would there be saddling and bridle and whatnot?
Oh, that was burned first.
While staring at me? Inspect that, pixie bitch.
this is
Jesus, you're a little hard on yourself.
this is likely the evil that Calianvero spoke of. And we have begun to at least thwart it. Now we must seek out the source of it.
Well, Tian said that Nuot was coming back from Sarvid.
Then that is where we should head.
To Sarvid.
And then probably on to the capital.
The other direction to Kassir. Well, that's the
Well,
same
no.
direction. I
Yeah.
keep thinking we're by the Blood Hills.
No.
Sorry, guys.
We're over by the Wooded Winds.
Oh, by the Wooded Winds.
So we must head east to Sarvid.
Is there actually a trade route that goes from
There's a little dotted line
Kreevorn
there.
to Sarvid?
Boop, 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 boop. Yes, that's that path there.
All right,
if
perfect.
you can see, it's a tiny line.
Excellent.
And then to Kassir beyond that.
Kassir beyond that.
I think we have done what we must here.
Let's hope our friends can find us.
You should leave a message with Tien. As
I have a message for you. It reads, "Hi guys. Hope you made it okay. We miss you. Like my dad."
He's the best at writing messages.
Heart.
Adowin, the older man, comes up to you after you guys have been given all these supplies and stuff, and he says, we have additional aid we'd like to give you. As you continue to help us and find the source of this, we have additional horses, so you can ride even faster.
Yes, but how many boys do you have?
Can we take this Tien?
He says, I have just these horses to aid you, and Nuat was at the town of Erkrin just the other day, his last journey.
Is that where he came from most recently?
Tien? Ah, yes!
I thought he was coming from Sarvit.
That's where the mayor.
You lied to me, Tien.
Oh, that's right.
Rule the mayor was going to say.
Yeah. What was the name of this town again?
Erkrin.
No, the town we're in.
Yes.
He's got a mental issue.
And which way is this Erkrin?
He says it's
Please say east.
he says almost a full day's ride to the southwest.
Son of a bitch. Very well.
Into the woods.
To Erkrin it is.
Erkrin.
Erkrin it is. Thank you, citizens of...
Let's just say Thave. All right, and they wish you well with that amazing diplomatic endeavor. Not only you not being incarcerated, but they are cheering you on wherever you decide to go. Where would you?
Can you kill my dad?
Where would you like to head?
I believe we have to now head to Erkrin.
Which, if it's southwest, looks like it's into the woodland winds.
Yeah. Into the dark, dank forests.
Into the woods. Into the woods.
And we will leave a message with this older gentleman who's giving us the horses that if two people come seeking either us or these other fellows by this other name, being Yannick, Dash, and Galen, and Thawne, to send them our way.
Okay. All right.
Tell them what has happened here.
And where? And they're going to find you in Sarvid.
Erkrin.
Erkrin
is where we head next.
Okay.
And then to Kessir.
Okay.
Hopefully.
All right, you guys head off.
Just follow the trail of dead fathers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trail of Dead Fathers.
Also, at some point, there's going to be a trail named after this.
Orphan the boys.
All right, you guys ride out, and by nightfall, you are in the woods. These are a dry, heavily needled woods that crunch underfoot. You now have twice the horses. You can run them faster than usual, so you make it without getting deep into the night. You arrive in the very small town of Erkrin. It is maybe a dozen buildings, and they look...
We are entering as if Erkrin may be infected.
Oh, okay.
So we're not entering casually, but on guard, Fichard and lap sort of thing.
Okay.
I might even suggest we scout it first.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, we would probably scout it out, from a distance. Yeah, send the pixie in by itself.
Okay.
Sorry, themselves.
Themselves.
Sensing some racism.
What are you up to, Geggy?
Giggy is...
Go on, get.
Go on, get? Really? That's what I get?
Would you like a hood, sir?
Damn.
At least Hemlock tried to go first.
I have to go first. I am Keki. Need to scout. So moving.
It's nighttime, and you see no lights in the town. You can just see the silhouettes of about a dozen buildings, small little
No
wooden
lights
houses.
is ominous.
How late in the evening, sorry?
About 8 p.m. It's cold.
Should be lights.
I stand corrected. There are lights. There is a faint webwork of bluish glow coming from just off the center of town on the ground.
Yes, I'm not going near that.
Well, let's go in together as if this will be hostile. Arms ready.
It's Thave.
You see that these buildings are mostly damaged and destroyed. Multiple walls down, hanging in ruins. There is only one building that is untouched, and it is on the farthest outskirts. All the others have been damaged and destroyed as you make your way in.
Stog will be scanning the buildings as we go in to see if there's anything lurking in the rubble.
Poking your head down, taking a look. All right.
Yeah, I think we're moving in stealthily, hopefully, as we can.
Okay.
And if that's the case, then I will be using quiet allies to help us move stealthily as a group.
All right. That's right. You got that skill. All right. You guys are making your way stealthily into place, into the middle of this place. You see there are a series of bluish webwork, near veiny, pseudo-thin vines stretching out in the hundreds and the thousands from a central point. In this town, in that point, there is a object, a stone that is a flat shard, maybe 2.5 feet tall, that also has this veiny material clinging to it, and it is embedded into the earth. You can see there is 2 points of interest. One, all of the blue veiny stuff has creeped out about maybe 200 yards out, and it's gathered around some of the houses and spread out, but it is not spread out towards that one house that has remained untouched. So it's kind of like almost a little Pac-Man-y shape of not heading in that direction. And you also see there is a cage, maybe 5 by 5 by 5 metal cage that has some strange bally mass of this blue stuff of a creature inside, moving and undulating against and trapped within this cage.
How big is the stone?
Stone is just a couple feet high, 2.5 feet tall, maybe. Pretty small and very flat.
It's not inscribed or anything.
Can't see from here. You guys are still some distance.
I'd like to stay away from the stone, but the house is intriguing. Everything else is destroyed that I can see.
I would say we try to make our way as quietly as we can to this untouched house to see what is protecting it.
Quietly and longest way around would be my suggestion.
Yes.
One moment. Guggy,
Yes?
would you look at that stone through your spyglass and see what you can see?
Giggy will pull out the spyglass and check out the stone. What am I looking for?
Does it say anything, or is there an image or anything on it?
Writing is what I'm looking for.
All right. You look for writing, staring at the spyglass at the stone. You see no writing whatsoever. Make a roll.
A roll.
A roll.
That roll is a 10.
You are there. With a 10, you don't glean any additional information. Sorry.
I see nothing but a featureless stone. Probably for the best. Maybe.
So we're going to make our way towards this house.
Okay.
From like the center of the open Pac-Man mouth, like kind of basically trying to stay concealed from the blue caged creature if we can.
Yep.
keep the house between us and it, and staying out of any of this blue misty stuff.
All right. You are able to easily do that, and you make your way over to this house. It is dark, no light, no fire, and again, the only standing structure.
Are there any windows?
There are windows.
And a peek in through a window.
Peek inside. It looks cold and dark. No lights of any kind, no motion, no people.
Can you detect any magic?
You detect no magic.
I detect no magic.
Are the windows openable? Can we open any of the windows?
Yeah.
Yannick will open the door.
Rock sphere.
Also, Derek, we need a hero point to be given out. Who's going to get a hero point?
We've been here forever. 3 hero points. Woo! Woo!
Derek, our tech, has picked Chris, the diplomatic master. Done. You have the...
That's an end of the night hero point as
yeah.
far as I'm concerned.
Window is open.
The creature that we have spotted in the cage is officially marked.
Okay. Done.
And Yannick walks through the open door.
Through the open door. Done. Inside, you see a decent house. It's kind of a cabin-y type environment. The people here definitely use the woods as their livelihood. You see something unusual, Mr. Carahel. You've finally trained religion, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am trained in religion, and I have student of the canon, so if it has anything to do with Carahel, I would.
It does not have to do
be
with
extra good
Carahel,
at
but
it.
you are able to identify hanging over the windows and particularly the door different reverential carved, not natural, but carved horns to the god Keth, the nature god of Keth, which isn't particularly common for Thave. The Blood Witches don't normally support faith in that regard. So you spot that. Looking around, you see there is no one home. The place looks abandoned. Even the back door was left open. Stog finally fits through the window and flops inside. You search about. You see not much of value, but you do see a single book that has been left out and has been left out in some sort of official capacity, as it says Kreevorn written on it. And since books have been of some discussion here in Thave, it catches your eye.
Real quick, Zaldor detects magic in the house one more time.
Okay. You detect no magic.
Okay.
Aduin will not touch the book, but will approach it and look at the open page to see what it.
It's not open.
So it says Kreevorn
on the cover.
With proper reverence to what it's probably doing, Aduin will open the book.
All right. You open the book and inside...
Leaving it in place, just, basically open the cover of it.
Okay. Just the cover.
Yeah.
When you do so, then just the front page, you see a list of names, and they are 15 different names. You believe it to be the owner of the book or the owner of the house or the owner of the town, someone of import who now has this book.
And you flip pages to see what's in there.
You see it is a journal of the town by different mayors of the town, and it's pretty bland, boring stuff going back several years of different wildfires that happen here or there, brigands that caused trouble, but they reached out to Kreevorn and they were able to scare the brigands away, different moments. The more recent entries over the last couple months, though, catch your eye. You see one from a couple months ago that reads by someone named Kytrik, C-Y-T-R-I-K, Kytrik.
What does it spell that again?
C-Y-T-R-I-K, C-Y-T-R-I-K.
Okay.
There's an entry that reads, a ball of blue fire flew down from the night sky and crashed into the middle of town. The next day, there was a strange flat rock where it impacted. And there's another entry. Strange blue lines pulsed like magic along the rock. Anyone who touched it was burned slightly. Next entry. It's been a few days. The blue lines have spread out along the grounds from the stone like a vine. A dust storm blew past this day and lingered. I hope it's not what I think it is. Something was growing in the blue mess of vines, a mass. People are moving out of the closest homes. We don't know what to do. Each of these are entries. Some are a day, some are a couple days in between. The mass erupted and some creature shambled out. It had no head but a mouth that spit out blue vines. We desperately caught the thing somehow and caged it.
Are you reading this to yourself?
I am reading it out loud.
Okay.
The Queen Shades arrived today. They are here to deal with the situation. They brought a magical advisor to the Queen herself to help remove this stone. The advisor's name is Leam. We are so thankful for their help. The creature in the cage continues to grow. It has taken several days, but Leam with the Shades have broken off most of the stone. Everything has gone wrong. Most of the stone was taken out, but a piece still remains, and it's spreading the blue vines rapidly. More masses are growing in the vines. The creature in the cage grows stronger. The Shades won't help. 2 last entries. The Shades left with most of the stone to head back to Kasir. More of these creatures are growing. What can we do? And then the last entry. Danger. We are fleeing. If we can only topple this stone, perhaps it will stop this madness. Where did this come from?
Okay.
Stog runs his hands over the carved horns, the offerings to Keth, and waits to see if a vision and an emotion pops into his head.
A vision or an emotion. You have a... No, you don't have any, actually. Maybe a vision of... an emotion of respect, but no vision seems to come from it.
Did the stone look like it had been toppled?
It's flat at the top of it, right? There's only 2 feet of it sticking up.
Yeah.
No, it's
not toppled.
It's like a thin piece of stone peanut brittle standing on end, 2.5 feet up.
Okay. I mean, because they thought that if they could topple the stone, it might help.
I might be able to help with that. Using my ability to extract elements, I have potentially the chance to destroy the stone as it's there.
That does seem to be a key to this spreading wickedness.
Is it so wicked? The Queen Shade didn't want anything to do with it.
Or they claimed to come to try to destroy it, only to take pieces of it back to Kasir, and then they did not help further to try to do anything to it.
For it to grow again?
They caused
Very
it to grow quicker when they broke pieces of the stone away from it. I'm not sure, and from everything I hear of these blood witches and these Queen Shades, I'm not sure I trust what they said or did, that they were trying to truly help this town.
This creature here is curious. I don't know anything about this stone or these vines. That is a creature of some sort affected by these vines.
Or made by the vines.
Or made by the vines.
Do you suppose it's possible that if the stone were destroyed, that it would only strengthen the creature as it was done by the Queen Shade? Or is it perhaps correct that his supposition is that once we destroy the stone entirely, that the vines will wither and die?
Either are possible.
The stone seems to grow on its own.
The vines certainly do, at least according to the tale. Though they don't grow here.
The stone appeared, but has not seemed to grow since. But the Queen Shade seemed to be able to break pieces of it off.
Stog, still lingering around these horns, grabs one, pulls it down, and steps outside, and with it in hand approaches the vines off of either side of the house to see if there's a reaction to it.
No, there is no reaction. I'm going to say make a roll, make an ambiguous roll. The more ambiguous, the better.
17.
That's a hell of a roll.
Less ambiguous than one might want.
The vines seem to slowly shrink away as though drying up. Slowly just shrink away a little bit. It's not immediate, but that's kind of a slow shrink. And then a section of them lashes out at you with a 25 to hit.
Oh! That will hit.
A mass of this separates of the vines and becomes almost a rolling blobular veined neon blue, bright blue veined mass creature comes out at you and hits you for 19 points of bludgeoning damage.
Jeez.
3,
What
2,
is your
1.
fortitude save plus 10?
22.
And you have been grabbed.
Ooh.
And then finally, on its last action, it squeezes a life essence out of you. Make a fortitude save 21, and you are fine.
Boy. Oh. Oh.
You're not
that
fine.
too.
Yeah, I'm definitely hero pointing that too. Thank you. Oh, boy.
Do you have 2?
Yeah, he got
This
one.
is-
Yeah.
Okay.
Still not quite enough. That is a 20.
All right, you take 14 more bludgeoning damage and are now have 1d4 persistent bleed.
So this was 19 plus 14.
Correct.
Okay.
And bleeding.
Frank in our audience just came back and was like, what the hell just happened? Come back, there's persistent bleed. And what's your response as all that happens, Stog?
I need some help!
And Aduin, Fishard in hand, whips around and be like, where the hell did Stock go? Why are you leaving? Don't run off by yourself, damn it!
Is the creature is the creature in the cage reacting in any way?
You're inside the house. You don't know. You just hear Stog right now yelling outside.
But I have a mark on the creature, and I can tell roughly where it is, what it's doing.
It's not moving.
Okay.
It's in its cage. Zaldor runs out the door towards the screaming
Make a
Stog.
perception roll, see anything for Aduin.
Roll high, guys.
I have 2 hero points. I rolled a 3. I'm going to roll
22
again.
is your goal.
23 is my hits.
Okay.
24 is mine.
Okay, there are more of these mouths that try to surprise you and wait until you get close to help your friend, but you anticipate and you back up slightly as they are ready to engage, but they don't get a whole free series of actions against you.
Is Stog grappled?
He is grappled currently.
Then Aduin will try to kind of come in a way that he can...
Help out?
Yeah.
That will give 1 free attack from them. Is that what you want to risk?
Yes.
I'm going to make the attack, I love the name, Fleshy Slap, coming your way. If this hits, there might be a second action of grab, just
By the
warning
way,
you.
same thing he used on the Squire.
No, it was called knob kebab.
Oh my god!
Derek, do not write that one down, please. No show title on that one.
That's t-shirt worthy.
Also, their nicknames from now on.
That is a 27 to hit you.
That will hit.
I'm so sorry. This may create a cascading. I said one action. It may be 3. So that's the first one. You've been hit for 18 points of bludgeoning, and then it tries to grab you with that same thing. What's your fort plus 10? You don't roll. I do.
23.
31. You are grabbed. And then the third action, it starts to squeeze your life essence. Make a fort save. 21.
That's a natural 1, so I'm going to use my other hero point that I just got,
Thank you, Derek.
and I'm going to turn that into an omen point.
Okay, and the omen points came from Luminara. He gets to roll now 2 dice and take the best.
Sign
Sign of a good roll.
18 total.
18 total. You take 13 points of bludgeoning and are now persistently
At least
bleeding.
it's not a natural 1.
That's true.
Yeah.
Try keep that spirit up.
But you are now grabbed by a second one. Zaldor?
Ugh. Stop getting grabbed. How far is the door? How far is the house from the stone?
About 125 yards. So
If I get closer to the stone, can I do so without being grabbed by vines? As you mentioned, it was like a Pac-Man. Like they get closer, but like
you would risk 1 flesh slap, and you could get half that distance.
so I couldn't get 30 feet
No.
in that turn. Okay. Ugh. All right. I want to see if I can destroy the stone, but not before I help free you. But I don't want to hurt you in the fact that I would slash through with the wind sphere. How do I? I have it. I will
Destroy the
cast
stone!
Sandstorm, and Zaldor activates his area effect.
Is that Sandstorm?
Yeah.
That's a strike against us.
Elemental Blast first, striking out at the vine-grabbing Aduin.
Okay. Sorry, dog.
With a shot. Oh, that's not a great one. Do I use it right now? I'm gonna leave it. It's 15 to hit.
That is not a hit against this viney mound.
Then pulling the
That's another
ascendant
good
around him.
You got some problems if that's a known phrase to you. I didn't say veiny mound.
Gonna try one more with a 2-action elemental blast going after it this time. Again, targeting
Here's what the heart
at
wants.
Stog. This one,
Stogs.
grabbing him. That's a lot better. That is a 25.
25, you strike the beast.
Fantastic. And it's going to take... Make sure I do that. I don't do these very often. So it's 2 of these plus... 7, 11 plus
Slurpee.
7
Ooh.
is 18 points of bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, or electric damage.
Do you choose?
It's half and half, basically. So it's half slashing, half piercing.
Okay. A bunch of that did not go through. They are resistant to some of that.
What if it's cold or acid?
Possibly.
Okay, because I have variable.
So you do some damage.
I do some damage.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Does this thing loosen its grip on me after getting hit?
No, but I'll give you a +1 to escape on your turn. But we have a pixie who's been waiting oh so patiently.
Is there a second floor to this structure?
No.
There's not. Approaching and need to get outside to see what's going on.
You're outside. You're in that Pac-Man open mouth thing. You've got multiples of these mounds. 3 of them that you see so far. Then there's the even larger one caged far away in the central section by the stone, about 300 feet away.
Does it appear to be doing anything?
It is agitatedly banging against the bars. You're grateful for the bars.
Grateful for the bars. I'm taking a shot at the creature that's restraining Adawin.
Okay. Sorry, Stog.
I brought this on myself.
Is there
I
a
don't think
precision
you won't get
on
a
this
stern
creature?
talking
I
to
can't
at the
tell
end
you
of
that.
this.
Then I will throw precision. Here we go, and that's a 15. 19 to hit.
Okay. That is a miss.
Sorry, that would be a 21 to hit.
That is also a miss.
That is a miss. Damn, bad.
You got a hero point. You got a couple hero points.
Oh, that's true. Let's do that. I'll do a hero point. Refiring. That is a 27 to hit.
Is a hit.
That is 11, 19, 20 points of damage.
What type?
A pierce.
Pierce. Okay, some of that is resisted, but you do hit it. And little blue ichor comes spraying out. And another one starts to form from the vines. You don't think it's the entire mass, but you can see like a little undulating like shape, like something underneath the blankets or the sheets of the bed, getting closer and closer, and then it takes a form of these vines and starts rolling. So there are now 4 of these. And I've got bad news.
Oh, God.
And then good news. Which would you like to hear first?
Bad.
Get the bad news out of the way.
Bad news is that was their surprise round, so it's a new round, so we get to get involved now.
Oh.
The bad news is that they won initiative.
Good news?
So what was the good
Is there
news?
good news?
He gave us the good news.
No, not yet. So there might still be some good news. Let's do.
Oh, now it's might. I see how this game works.
Let's do. This is Galen. We'll start with Galen's.
Deal keeps getting worse and worse.
20 to
Pray I
hit.
don't make it.
20 does not hit.
Did you see how he said Galen?
Yeah.
Sorry, not Galen. Sorry. 31 to hit.
That is a hit.
Okay, and then a 20 to hit.
No.
So you got 1 hit. Another fleshy slap for 19 points of bludgeoning damage.
I don't like it.
And it seems to be lightly healing itself from that grab that it had. And that bleed. As you lightly bleed, it's lightly healing. Adawin, you have been grabbed. It is going to attack again. 31, 23, 25.
2 of those will hit.
Adawin, 17 and 16 bludgeoning. Still standing?
Oh yeah.
Okay. The other 2 creatures are closing in on Zaldor and Geggy, because Geggy, you did not get close to the middle section yet. So they are closing in. They're spending their turn closing in. The good news is who does good criticals? Thaumaturge does good criticals. What's your average critical damage that you do?
Average crit, that would be 4 and 4.
What's your average as well, Hemlock? What's the average?
And do you want me to use my...
no, just an average number,
okay.
roughly.
So 4, 4, and 8, that's 1632.
32.
Sounds right.
All right.
I'm about the same, maybe a little bit higher.
Okay. 34 points of damage are dealt with the loud bang of a gun. Hemlock is there.
Hell yeah!
Nice.
He can read a map.
Hemlock blasts away. You also hear a strum of a tune, and everyone is invigorated by some song. What song is it, Jericho?
Oh, I was going to do something else, but I could do that.
Whatever you'd like to do.
When I see them, as we come riding in on our horse and I see these bad ones, I would have been trying to...
Turn around and go back to Tavernry.
No, as I see those bad things, I would have been trying to fire a line spell through as many of them as I could.
Okay, go for
And
it.
kind of fire that up for 2 full rounds. The one that I can...
The big enhanced
I
one.
I can crank that up. And I would be upcasting it from 2nd to 3rd level.
Go for it. This is a spell attack roll, I believe, right?
No, it is not. It is a DC 22 basic reflex save.
Reflex, got it. And I will let you get out to 3 of them. 2 fail, 1 critically passes. So 2 fails.
So I might need your help with this.
Oh.
Because this is the Inner Radiance Torrent spell where I manifest the spiritual energy. When I cast it with just 2 2 actions, it's 4d4 of force damage.
Mm-hmm.
When I do it for a second full round, it's an additional 4d4 of force damage. But when I heighten it, the initial damage, as well as the additional damage for the 2-round casting time, each increase by 4d4.
So be 5d4, 5d4?
No.
8d4,
8d4, 8d4.
So 16d4, that might be easier on your computer than me trying to do that with my 3d4.
Sure, I can do that. 16d4. This is fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I heard, with a roll. Just 16 points of damage, oddly enough. 47 points of damage. And that was failures. So critical success on 1 took no damage. The other 2 take full 47.
It's force damage.
Force damage, and barely anything resists force, and these are not one of them. They take all of that damage and shriek in pain, take major hits from that.
I will mark off a third level spell.
And I will let the 2 who are grabbed decide one of your creatures lets go. And I will not let you decide. I will let our audience member Frank decide.
Yeah.
One of the creatures lets go. They let go of Aduin or let go of Stog.
I'm gonna go Stog.
Yeah. Frank has selected Stog as the released. So Stog, you are released. Hemlock, you still have 2 actions to go.
Oh, I'll take another shot.
Okay.
This I'm a little rusty. 30?
30 is a hit. And whom are you striking?
Oh, the one grabbing
Aduin.
on
Whoever's foolish enough to stand
the
in front of
knight.
my gun.
All right.
8 points of piercing or bludgeoning.
Okay. And I have to apply how you apply. There's
No,
something.
it's whatever
Is more
works the
effective.
best.
Worst.
All of that goes through.
Perfect.
Nice. You blast the creature. Some ichor goes flying, and you also notice something. Hemlock, from that distance, you see several, the first time ever, multiple thin silver cords for the first time in days. You see, for the first time ever, a collection of them all lined up along the lines of the cage in the middle of this mess
God damn it.
that surrounds this creature.
Okay.
We need to do something with Aduin.
So does Aduin, do I feel like it would be more effective to cut my way out or to like tear my way out?
My last action was a reload.
A reload, okay.
Of
you
this
can
grapple.
Tearing out won't help as much, but you can attack if you want. But if you want, you can try and escape.
Yeah, I would like to escape.
All right, then make an athletics or acrobatics.
I'm going to make an athletics because it's plus 14. I rolled a 14, so 28 to break out.
You are free.
That's pretty solid.
And this thing has been hit several times now and seems pretty damaged.
Yes.
I will. Is that escape consider an attack action?
Escapes is an attack action. Yes.
All right. So I will swipe with my Fishard.
Okay.
So that's my second attack. I rolled a 19 on the die, plus 9, so that's 28 to hit.
28 to hit is a big freaking Fishard slice.
And
I wanted to
that
say
is with
something else.
my rune of striking, so that is going to be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then with my last action,
Some of that did not. You feel bite
That's
as deep as you
fine.
wanted.
I'm going to back away
Okay.
by 5 feet.
Done.
I'm going to step back.
I sense some tactics happening. We have Geggy.
There's no map, right?
No map.
Cool.
The cage, you said it's like way far away.
From you, maybe 200 feet away.
Okay.
I need to get up on. I would like to get up on top of the roof of this.
You can do that with one action. You're agile.
All right. I will do that. That's one action. I will take shot at the creature that I have marked and ready, which is
The one on Adwin.
the one on Adwin.
Okay. This an aimed shot?
It is a hunter's shot.
Okay.
This is a 2. I'm gonna miss.
Takes your shot, but the chaos is too much. We have Stog.
So Vine Monster standing in front of Stog. Stog says, "I see you," and wants to understand this thing in more detail. Uses esoteric knowledge to try to exploit its vulnerabilities.
Okay.
And gets a 23.
23 is a success.
Nice.
And you get to know what again?
So I can learn its its weaknesses, its resistances.
You learn its highest weakness.
There you go.
And its highest weakness is Vitality 5. That would be healing magic type stuff.
That'll be interesting how my sword takes on vitality damage. And does it what's its do I get its bypassable resistances as well?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So I will apply sympathetic vulnerability. I assume this is a non-humanoid creature?
This is a non-humanoid creature.
All right, so all of the vine monsters around now share the vulnerability
Okay.
For this.
All right.
So that's one action. And then Stog grimaces, because he's hurt quite badly, but just tries to cut through this thing with his sword. And that's going to be a 29.
Is a hit.
Okay, that's not a lot of damage. It's 3, 4, 12 plus the 5 vitality damage, so 17.
Okay. You deliver a nice blow, and a chunk of webbing bright blue goes flying off, and the creature is starting to slink away.
Okay.
Does that vitality react in some way on the creature, or
It burns
it
it.
just burns it? Okay.
Jericho, by the way, you can see the same silver cords that Hemlock can, lining the cage, almost like a wireframe outline of silver bright magic.
Stog will also shout out, "Healing heart set." And I've still got.
I hear you, Stog, says Happily, who starts fumbling around with a potion in his pouch.
It's Hapley's moment to shine. I still have the Keth idol in my hand.
Okay.
Is it reacting to the idol at all, or does it seem immune to?
Do you have an action to try?
I do. Yeah. Stog is gonna thrust the antler like straight into it.
All right, you burn an action to do that. You learn absolutely everything as the creature recoils and falls back from the idol of Keth, the god of nature, this aberration that wants nothing to do with it. Not only does it back away, but the others start backing away from you as well.
Grab the idols!
Throw me the idol.
That's my 3 actions.
Okay, Zaldor.
All right, so that's a lot of things to learn. Watching Stog just there.
I'm impressive sometimes.
So excited to see Jericho. Hemlock, sure. And the spell that he just cast in the straight line, are they still perhaps lined up at all?
No, they went in a couple. They just backed up.
Fantastic. Are they anywhere near each other? Are they all
2
just
are close.
separated out? I'm going to cast on them Stone Dance.
Okay.
And I will throw a tremor-like sense underneath them. and they must make a fortitude save. Aberrations are notoriously low on fortitude.
That's a success and a critical success.
Son of a bitch.
You can stone dance if you want to. I will just save anyway.
For the 15 points of bludgeoning damage, he will take half, which is 7.
7.
And then
So wait, that's less than what I did, right?
it's a little bit out of frustration at the same creature that took that damage. Zelda will throw an elemental blast right at it, just diving straight in for a total of 21 to hit. 22 to hit.
Is a miss.
Dang it.
All right. The creatures are not engaging right now. They are backing up from Stog, so we don't have to do combat-related turns at this moment until you guys decide to really push things. What would you all like to do?
Did that creature back up away from me?
Yes.
That will it will absorb an attack of opportunity then.
Don't roll to hit. Roll your damage. It is not paying any attention to you. 10 points to that one is a kill.
Nice.
First one drops. It splays out this, again, like the neon net of blue and black, but there's like goo that comes out underneath it, bright blue goo.
You go ahead.
How far away are we from that cage where we see those little
200
strandy
feet.
things?
Yeah, about 200 feet.
I'm going to be riding my horsey in that direction. I assume we're on our horses.
Well, now you can get back on your horse.
Oh, I didn't know I was off.
We're always off the horses.
Oh, that's right. I will start moving in that direction. I will move 90 feet in that direction.
Isn't the blue cords are though like all around it,
Covering
right?
the ground.
They're all around, and then they're
Like how close is the cage to the stone?
40 feet away. You could get within about 60 feet of the cage if
I'll get
that's
about
your goal.
100 feet away from the cage.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to do. Which is not, I said I'd go 90 feet, which would put me about 110.
All
away.
right.
About 100 feet.
You are there.
Yeah, that's my half before anyone else is doing.
All right.
Other people do stuff.
Other
if they
people?
want.
All I'm going to keep doing is firing and throwing bladed wind spheres and stone dances towards the vines to distract away or to try to detract from whatever Jericho and Hemlock
Okay,
are doing.
that's great.
Stog retreats towards Aeduin. He's quite hurt.
Yeah, and Aeduin will heal Stog.
Okay, lay on hands.
And
18
remind
hit
everybody, grab the idols. The idols protect.
Hemlock has no idea what you're talking about, but Hemlock's gonna follow.
I'm your idol.
Yeah, Hemlock's gonna follow Jericho, but he's gonna take a couple pot shots.
Taking
on the
some
way.
pot shots as he goes, reloading. You're following Jericho. What are the two of you doing as you get within 100 feet? 90 feet.
When I get up there, I'm going to repeat the exact same thing I last did. I will take the 10, 12 seconds to fire up this big, exact same spell in the Radiance Torrent again for 2 full rounds.
This anime beam that you're
Yes,
building.
just duking it out. And I'm going to try to just lay it across the cage. It's 5 feet wide. So I see those strands. I see the creature. If I can happen to line it up so it hits some viney thing, I'm fine with that. If I don't, I don't. But
Okay.
yes, I'm just trying to just laser that thing out.
Lasering it.
So that's burning another 3rd level spell slot, drop another 16d4 force damage. They get to make a DC 22 basic reflex. I hope the cage does not have a good reflex.
Okay. You blast with
Critically
huge
succeeds.
energy at the cage that is containing this large mound of veiny mound. No. What was
Viney.
it? Viney
Creature.
mound.
No,
Viney
it's
mound.
a veiny
That was-
mound. It's a veiny
I thought it was a
mound.
creature.
Yeah, it's one of these viney
Okay.
mounds.
Sure.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
All right. You blast Hemlock.
I'm covering
Gay.
Jericho, more
Okay.
or less, because I see what he's about to do, and I'm like, oh, I think that'll take care of it.
So I started blasting. What I did here, you know?
All right, you blast a huge amount of energy, and it hits and shatters the cage.
That's probably good.
Yeah. probably not.
Creature comes launching out. I mean,
So glad to have you back.
it has been pushing and pushing at this cage, and now this larger one comes launching out and barreling at you. Hemlock, you blast, but at the same time, your beam blasts multiple of these silver strands. They get caught, and these gray strands explode in bright gray light behind the creature. It doesn't seem to affect the creature, but the light grows and blasts and blasts and blasts and becomes like this weird smoky fog. And this huge, thick fog instantly races in and swallows Jericho and swallows Hemlock, swallows all the heroes. This fog just swarms around, and everyone loses sight of each other, and even the sounds of calling out to one another and the battle quickly fade. The chaos of your fight is replaced by the calm of what is clearly a different place of where you are now entirely.
Do fun stuff.
This is now bright. It is bright out. It is gray brightness all the way around you. The nighttime of the town is gone. And you just see bright fog wherever you look. You can barely even see your hand in front of you. Just beyond the edge of the fog where you can see, stretch huge silver cords, massive cables, not the thin ones, but big cables, suspended horizontally by the hundreds, just out of sight in the fog and disappearing wherever you look, never quite fully seen, but always there. Each of the heroes is alone and lost in the gray. Wherever this place is, whatever you have done, Jericho, this is not Varen. Aeduin, the champion, ducks under several heavy silver cables and appears in a small space clear of the fog. His boot draws a line in the hard-packed earth. Close around him is nothing but gray. Another figure approaches the clearing from out of the fog. A tall warrior. No, another champion. A champion of Carahel approaches. Stepping into the clear patch of fog comes Yannick once more. Yannick's confused look from his surroundings turns to recognition once he sees Aeduin before him.
I know you. I've seen you before. You're the champion who's helped lead the group to Thave.
Indeed. I am Aeduin, and you are Yannick. We meet for the first time,
And yet, I feel like we've known each other forever. I know what you mean.
Both men nod knowingly at one another. Heavy silver cables shift in the dense fog just out of view. The faintest silver filament drifts down from above like an ethereal feather. It gently lands on Aeduin's shoulder. Then another silver filament, as though blown from some giant dandelion, drifts down and rests upon Yannick's boot.
Any idea where we are at?
Not really.
Any idea why we're here?
No idea. But I do know you. Somehow I know what you've been doing. As me. Or as us, I guess. It's like we're one and the same.
A looming shadow towers over both men and whips past overhead in the fog before disappearing. It leaves a wake of rippling silver cables in the mist. Aeduin turns defensively and watches for the shadow again before losing sight of the shape. More of the little silver filaments drift down, falling upon both men, but most landing on Aeduin's shoulders and head.
I don't think this place is for men to be. In fact, I would go so far as to say you and I were never meant to meet at all.
And yet, here we are. If we were not meant to meet, then maybe this is the end for one of us.
There is a weight in my gut. It feels like something is pulling at me.
Aeduin brushes delicate filaments out of his hair and grabs onto his stomach. The fog slowly creeps back in.
Pulling you where, Aeduin?
Pulling me towards the fog. Towards this nothingness.
The gray mist creeps around the shoulders of the elven champion.
This might be it. An oblivion waits me, I fear.
You and I don't have the luxury of fear, Aeduin. Stand strong. You are a champion of Carahel.
The fog completely envelops the elven champion Aeduin. Only his shadow can be seen in the dense fog.
Take care of them, Yannick. They'll need you now more than ever.
The form of Aeduin fades away into the fog, never to return again. Yannick stands alone in the space clear of the mist.
Farewell, Aeduin, champion of Carahel. I will remember you.
In another part of the dense fog, a little pixie named Geggy steps into a space clear of the mist. Geggy calls out for anyone to hear for the longest time, but sees only gray around them. Then a silhouette appears and grows more defined the closer it comes. Emerging from the fog steps the elven ranger, Thon. The two archers, standing face to face in this otherworldly place, break out into smiles as they acknowledge one another. Geggy performs a silly formal bow with a flourish.
Warden?
Thon smiles and nods back.
Warden? Fancy meeting you here.
Wispy silver filaments drift down from above like a gentle snow.
And where exactly is here? I couldn't say for sure. I feel this place is both not real and yet oh so dangerous.
A looming shape passes overhead, rippling the large silver cables hidden in the fog beyond. Thon's eyes narrow as he watches the large shadow overhead disappear.
Yes, quite dangerous. Something is out in the fog. I don't know if it can see us or hear us, but I know when I'm being hunted.
Geggy speeds up again, breaking the silence.
I know you, Thon. I feel like I know so much about you. Your past, who you are. What you've done so much is just a blur. It's almost like I've lost myself and became you. But I'm not you. I'm me. I'm Geggy, from the Northern Varen, master of the bow, and I've been living your life. I don't know how. Something did this. Something mixed us all up.
Thon brushes delicate filaments out of his hair and eyes.
It mixed us up, all right. But we're here now, together. But I'm not you. I'm my own self. Somehow I know Hemlock. I know Aeduin. I know everyone. I've fought alongside them for months, but yet I haven't. That was you. Last thing I remember was traveling near Iveron. And now I'm helping everyone in Thave. And I want to help. These are my friends. But they don't know me. Something got us all mixed together.
The dark shadow in the mist tugs at the distant silver cables in the fog. Thon watches the ominous shape disappear once again.
And that something is back to make things right again. What do you mean, make it right?
Thon grabs at his chest and grimaces.
I mean that if I'm right, one of us is making it out of here. And I have a feeling I'm the one marked to go. What? No!
Geggy reaches out to help, but Thon holds out a hand to keep Geggy away and shakes his head no.
I don't want to go, but I can feel it. Something in my bones. Something's pulling me away. No, wait. We can stop this. We can both get back to Varen.
The fog closes gently around Thon. The image of him becomes hazy until it is just a shadow disappearing into the mist. His voice sounds much further away now.
There can be only one of us.
Thon's silhouette disappears into the fog forever.
Thon!
Thon's distant voice comes from somewhere deep in the fog.
I don't want to go.
Somewhere else far away in another clear space in a dense fog, two heroes stand face to face in this strange gray realm. A few filaments fall lazily from above.
Well, you're a bit uglier than I thought.
And you're not as tall as I imagined.
The two heroes glare at one another, then smile and break into laughter.
So, I'm guessing you're this Galen they've been talking about, right? Oh, if so,
And who am I again? You're Stog. You were me. Or you became me.
Well, if I became you, then that means you're Stog too.
No. You're Stog. I'm Galen.
And I'm Galen too?
Exactly.
Stog cocks his head and scratches his chin.
Oh, well, this is hurting me head.
A little silver filament lands on Stog's shoulder.
Oh, so how'd we both get here? Me and me?
Galen takes out his silver mirror and looks at the reflection of the fog. He sees heavy cables in the distance, disturbed by a large shadow moving in the mist.
Something has changed reality. Or, I think rather, someone has changed reality. It's a power I never imagined was possible. I don't know why they did it. And I don't think they know exactly who we are either. But this is dangerous.
Well, then let's grab our swords and fight. Back to back. Cut this someone down who show him his boss.
Stog draws his sword and blows a silver filament off his nose. Galen motions for him to lower his weapon.
It's not that simple, my friend. Someone brought us together, and now they're going to tear us apart. I can feel that one of us is returning back to Varen, back to reality, but only one of us. The magic happening here will bring an end to this change we've experienced. It's a final end for you or me.
Stog lowers his sword and holds his chest painfully.
I think that's going to be me, Galen. I don't feel no good.
Galen gives a sad, knowing look to the barbarian as the fog slowly gathers around Stog.
I'm sorry. This is power far beyond me. This magic creates and tears apart reality. There's nothing I can do.
Oh, it's okay, Galen. I'm not afraid. Old Stog, he'll take one for the team, just like he always does.
Stog fades into a dark silhouette in the fog. His voice calls out one last time.
Do me a favor, Galen.
Anything.
Find out who done this to us and smash his head in for me.
Oh, I will, Stog. I will.
Jericho runs alone through the fog. He stumbles into stretched out thick cables of silver line hidden in the gray. Desperately struggling past the tangle of cables, Jericho runs further through the dense fog, calling out for his friend.
Dash! Hemlock! Where are you guys?
A final clearing opens up in the fog, revealing our last two heroes. Facing in opposite directions, they turn around and startle one another.
Oh, well, hello there. I'm guessing you, by the beady eyes and the mousy features, that you would be Dash.
Yep, that's me. And I know you somehow. You're Zaldor, right?
Flourish! Indeed, I am Zaldor, Wizard of the Seventh Tower and Keeper of the...
Yeah, no, all right, I got it. You're the wizard. I've been seeing you somehow.
Indeed. Again. But I seem to be less of a wizard than usual these days. Perhaps I've gained some of your powers instead. And, to be quite forthcoming, I've acquired some of your memories. And in a way, your friends too. It's all been rather confusing.
Ugh, tell me about it.
Happy to. It seems that I...
No, I didn't mean literally. You can just... No.
I have known what you have done and been a part of your grand adventures with strong memories and connections, even though I was never actually there. I come from a strong line of mages and attended the most prestigious schools of the arcane.
Oh my god, I'm so bored.
Delicate filaments of silver drift down from above.
Yes, and of course, as I was saying, I am me, Zaldor. A man living my own life, and yet I know yours. I have strong memories of this town of Sarvid and a great warren of Yosoki, and yet this is the first time I've ever set foot in Thave. As though a ghost of a life was within me.
I know what you mean. I know everything you've done for the last week as though I was there, but I wasn't. Something is rotten to the core, and I get the feeling that this is where it all ends.
Yes, well, if we're here together, now wherever this place is, then likely means we'll be able to go our separate ways.
Or that only one of us makes it out of here.
A single silver filament lands on Dash's shoulder. Suddenly, Dash's name is called out through the fog.
Dash!
A gnome bard stumbles out of the fog with a shocked look upon finally finding his friend.
I found you. I've been looking for you for a long time.
I've been seeing you, but it's not been you the whole time.
No, you've been him, and he's not you.
No. No, he's not.
I just want you to know I really want to run up and give you a big hug, but I know that'd make you super uncomfortable, and so I'm restraining myself at this moment.
Dash reaches over, grabs Jericho's head, and touches foreheads.
At that, Jericho just kind of collapses, just bawling. Just, like, loses it bawling.
All right. When you are able to catch your breath, Jericho, and stand up, you see Dash is looking a little ill. He's clutching his stomach.
I need to tell you something.
Yeah.
I think I need to say goodbye. But you need to know this because it hasn't happened to me before. You're my friend.
You're my best friend.
I never had a friend before you. I had family. I had people that relied on me, but I never had someone who was just friend.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
You see a fog gently, slowly closing closer to Dash.
Zaldo, give me the note.
Oh, of course.
I wrote this for you. Take it wherever you go. It's not the same, because I wrote it when I thought I was leaving you, not you were leaving me, so I don't think it means the same thing.
You wrote this in Yosoki?
I learned it for you. Because you're my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
The fog now wraps itself all around Dash, and he starts to become a little difficult to see.
I don't have a note for you. But know this. You are the hero. This is your story.
I'll try and find your mom.
Thank you.
From beyond the gray fog, you see the last silhouette of Dash one last time, and you hear his voice say one last thing to Jericho.
You play music.
I will.
Don't sing about me.
I will.
Oh.
Zaldor puts a reassuring hand upon Jericho, before the fog races in, swirls around violently, and then instantly blows away, revealing our 6 heroes standing back in the nighttime of the small wooded town with these strange viney creatures, the large one rolling out and charging at Jericho, the Bard, as well as Hemlock the Gunslinger. Not too far back is Yannick the Champion, Galen the Thaumaturge, Gegi the Archer, and Zaldor the Wizard, the heroes of Inglorious Bards Season 6, and we will stop there for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. This was crazy. I think there's a lot of after show stuff we want to talk about. It's late, but we'll do something. If you want to hear the after show, check out patreon.com and Inglorious Bards. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.